Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hey Listen Video Game Podcast. This is episode 13, and I'm one of your hosts, Zach, also known as the RPG, and I'm joined with my controversial co-host, and that is Cole, also known as Annoying Navi.
I'm feeling sexy tonight.
All right, and we are joined with a guest we wanted on for quite some time, ever since the beginning of the podcast, and we finally have been able to get him on, and that's Ben Rowland, also known as browland1.
Hey guys, I'm feeling decidedly unsexy tonight.
It's alright. We'll get some porn in the other tab going on, and hopefully we'll feel better about ourselves.
Very, very good. Bring sexy back. But no, thank you so much for having me on. I know we've been talking for a while about doing a guest spot, and glad to finally be here.
Ben, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're known as quite the podcast tour. You get around quite a lot. How many podcasts have you guest on? Do you know?
I've lost count. I mean, I have to look at the notches on my bedpost, but certainly I've had quite a few guest appearances here and there. Been on All Gen Gamers, been on Operation Killscreen, been on The Users, been on United Gamedom. Now I'm on Hey Listen, and I think I did one other. There's one other I'm forgetting. Oh, the Press Start podcast, the Power On podcast. The whatever the fuck you want to call it podcast. Honestly, I've just forgotten. I mean, I've done so many podcast appearances, and they've mostly been concentrated within the past year. So I'm pretty sure anyone who listens to the podcast in the community has gotten well and surely sick of me by now. So mission accomplished.
Not entirely. All right, so
your ego must be through the roof, right?
Actually, I like to stay humble. You know why? Because I'm one of those people that I've been bogged down with all the self-doubt throughout my entire life. So it's like I listen to my voice and I'm like, I sound so nasally, I talk so fast, I stutter when I say certain words. You know, you're your toughest critic sometimes. So I don't listen to my podcast and think, oh my God, I'm a rock star. And you can never let it get to that point either, because then you start believing it.
You have like the best voice, though. I mean, you don't sound nasal. No, you have like this really sexy voice. Be proud of it. Be proud of it.
Why,
No. Yes. No, my voice is terrible, though.
But that's what we all say, isn't it? I mean, you listen to yourself played back, and the first time I ever heard myself recorded was when I was on the All Gen Gamers for the first time. I think it was episode 23 or 24. I forget which one, but I listened to my voice and I'm like, I sound nothing like that. Like if you were to talk to me in real life, I sound nothing like that. But it's always when you hear it played back, you start to nitpick and criticize how you sound. And I don't know. I'm like that all the time, but I do love podcasting, and it's become kind of my thing because I don't do YouTube videos. So podcast is really kind of the niche that I've fallen into.
Mm-hmm. And I think it fits you better. I don't know. You're a very charismatic person, if you will.
I have a face for radio.
Yes. Yes.
No, but I love podcasting, and you guys have definitely gotten off the ground well. You're on episode 13 now, which is lucky for some.
Oh man! All right, I didn't realize it was episode 13. That's all right. All right, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. We'll get through this.
We'll get through it with flying colors. But yes, definitely, guys. Thank you for having me on. I look forward to a good show.
So now we can talk about the crap we've been doing. So we're actually starting to talk about real life stuff as of last episode. Not too much, but we'll just mention anything particularly special that we did during the week. And I haven't done that much, but it's been like over a week since our last episode we recorded, so it's been a lot of time. But I did the second weekly game night, which I talked about in the last episode, which is the thing I started up with my friends, where we just choose a video game and a board game, and then we just play that pretty much the whole day. And so we did Wii Sports Resort and just this random board game, corny board game called the Game of Things. And yeah, we have like matchups scheduled for pretty much everyone for like all the game modes on Wii Sports Resort, and we didn't get through those, but we were able to play the board game, and that was pretty fun. And I also recently, after a few days extra, even after the podcast that I got off for Hurricane Sandy, I got like, I think it was 9 days in a row that I got off, including the weekends.
Wow.
So,
9 days off. Holy crap. I envy you.
yeah, I was
I
one of
only
the.
got 2.
I got none.
I was one of the lucky ones because I was literally in a place where there was like no damage really, but my school was right next to the ocean, so there was tons of flooding, and they just couldn't get it done in time. So they kept taking off more days. I didn't expect it to go that long, but it did. So I'm happy with that. Now I'm back to school, and I'm trying to get off of my whole procrastination thing, which has really been unhealthy, where I just put off every single piece of homework until like literally the last minute, and that's when I do it. Like I'll be scrambling during school just to finish like during classes and study halls and stuff. But now I'm trying to get it more under control, and I've actually for the weekend I've gotten pretty much all my homework done already, so that's pretty good.
Good stuff, man. I have a major procrastination problem, but I'll tell you about it some other time.
And yeah, that's been pretty good. And I've decided I'm gonna start up. You might have heard of it. It's not very well known, but it's called Media Sloth, which is a blog I did. It's kind of a play on words after Media Moss, which I did with Eric Nostalgia King for a while, and we kept getting on and off with that, and we pretty much gave up on it because we didn't get much done. It was very hard. We gave ourselves a lot of work for only 2 people. It was pretty much impossible to keep up with. And then, but then I called it, while that was still going on, I made my blog called Media Sloth, which is basically just, the tagline was called Procrastination My Enemy, Media My Friend, which is where the sloth comes from, is because I'm just lazy and never get anything done. Which is
It's
why,
alright.
which is why you saw an absence if you look at the dates from like December 2011, and then November 2012 I started posting again. And yeah, I posted a little thing which is on the last pretty much interesting thing I did, and I was basically just my thoughts on Wreck-It Ralph, which I saw. Have either of you seen that?
I haven't seen it.
Not
But
yet.
Ben, did you? No.
Not yet, no.
I want to see Sonic. Sonic's in it.
You have to see this movie. If you see it, it's pretty much just all praise the whole time on my post. It wasn't
Uh-huh.
a very formal review, but it was just scrambled thoughts because I was trying to rush out as much of my positive thoughts I had inside after that movie.
Mhm.
I'd say it's an absolute love letter to gamers of any kind. Even if you played a little bit of Call of Duty, I think you'd be able to relate to it. If you played a little bit of the arcade games, even in this generation, you'd be able to relate to it because they have crossovers between the classic style games, like obviously the Fix It Field Jr., which is Donkey Kong-esque, which with Wreck-It Ralph, but they also show clips from different games. Like one's a kart racer called Sugar Rush, which is a huge part of the movie, and yeah, there's a lot of actually candy references in there too, which was really odd. They had these like at one point they were in that game and there's these police officers. One of them was like a donut and one of them was a oh yeah, and then they brought in devil dogs as their kind of like attack dogs. So that was pretty interesting.
Hmm.
So even candy fans get something out of this movie, but
Yeah.
they have tons of references pretty much every 2 seconds. It seems like in every other line they have references. They threw in the Konami code somewhere in there. They threw in Ryu and Ken from Street Fighter did some funny parts in there. Obviously Sonic. I almost forgot.
Oh, here, let me ask you a question then. Would you say it's better than the Happy Console Gamer movie?
Oh. That's not. That's not.
Loaded
Throw in
question.
the bomb. No, this is not an awkward situation. So which one's better?
Better?
Yeah.
Which one's better? Wreck-It Ralph's better.
He said it. He said it,
What?
folks.
What?
Maybe maybe Happy Console movies. Happy Console Gamers movie is more beloved by the community. Maybe its quality is not to the level of Wreck-It Ralph.
It's fine. It's just that I'm gonna send that audio clip directly to him on Facebook. So I'm gonna it'll
and then ruin my
it'll get
reputation,
out.
and then I'll leave the community.
Pretty much that was my plan. So I will do that.
I'm sure he's gonna lose sleep over it.
You want to go to war? I'm not Games of War. Sorry.
Oh.
we try to throw that out there almost every episode. It seems like little Games of War reference.
But yeah, there's pretty much tons of awesome references. But what I found really good is that Disney's always able to pull off these things, and I was surprised they went for this niche market of gamers because I thought that wouldn't be very successful because it seems like you'd alienate your whole audience when I first heard about it because it'd be like they wouldn't be able to relate to anything. But I've noticed that you'd still very much be able to enjoy it. You just wouldn't even notice the references that gamers would. It wouldn't really take away from the movie, but it only just adds to the movie for gamers. So it only improves it. And a whole other element comes into play when they add this character called
Mike
crap.
Tyson.
I almost forgot the name. Vanellope, there you go. And she's basically like the cutest animated girl that you could ever see.
No, I don't get off on that.
Not
animated girls.
Not that kind of
What?
cute. Not that kind of cute. Like the little kid kind of cute.
Oh, okay, Jerry Sandusky.
Oh.
Little kid kind of cute. Come on. Too soon.
I guess it's
I think I hear Chris Hansen knocking at my door right now.
I guess it's one and the same in Cole's mind, but
Mhm.
so yeah, she has a whole other element because you really just grow to love the kid, and then there's some...
Oh yeah, just love the kid, just all over.
Dirty fucker.
I'm a rascal, as you would say.
You are indeed.
Yeah. Yes.
But yeah, I think anyone would be able to relate and love the girl in a normal way. But yeah, it just makes the movie so much better with the character development's awesome through that because it adds when Wreck-It Ralph makes some bad decisions, some good decisions, it always makes you feel bad for either side, and then there's this awesome twist in there too, so everyone needs to go see that. And that's all I've got.
All right.
So Ben, have you
Yeah.
done anything particularly interesting this weekend or this week?
Well, it's funny you mentioned Hurricane Sandy because we did have a bit of that. I'm in Toronto, Canada, so we weren't in the eye of the storm or anything, but we did get the tail end of it, and it was pretty brutal. We had a lot of down trees, we had a lot of down power lines, and I have the pleasure of having a tree go right through my kitchen window. So that was quite a bit of fun to have to clean up and pay the $500 to have the window replaced. So that was definitely not a highlight of the week.
And you didn't get any days off for that.
No, I didn't. The thing is that in Canada, like we only get days off if there's like a serious disaster or if there's like a really bad snowfall or something, and that happens so rarely that I can't really count on getting any days off here and there. But what happened in the case of Hurricane Sandy is that we just had high winds, we had really bad rains, and there were some big trees that just got toppled, and it happened at around 2 a.m. I went to bed and the power was still on. We didn't lose power or anything, but I went to bed and then I was woken up by a loud crash at like 2:30 in the morning. Went downstairs and saw there was like this giant branch that went right through the window in the kitchen.
Oh, that sucks.
It totally does.
Yeah.
So I had to pay money to have the window replaced. So you can't really help that. I mean, that's just how it goes. But I mean, outside of that, I've just been working a lot. I work a full-time job, so it's one of my busy seasons. So I've been kind of focusing quite a bit on that. Haven't done much in the way of movie watching or socializing. Managed to do some gaming, but I'll wait till the proper section to go into that. But something really good did actually happen because when there's a new game coming out that you really, really want, but you don't want to spend the money or you don't have the money, the wait is torture. Like it could be absolute torture, especially if it's a game that you really, really want. And in my case, that game was Assassin's Creed 3. And I just, because of the repairing the window, I didn't have the money to buy the game. And exactly, it's tragic. Hurricane Sandy totally screwed me on that. But something good did happen because I was talking to my girlfriend one night, and for anyone who listens to the Rad Rascals podcast, which is the one I co-host, I've talked about her a bit here and there, not excessively, but she's not a gamer. She's never played video games. She knows nothing about video games. We were talking one night, and I said, "Oh, there's a game coming out that I want to get, but I'm going to have to hold off." And she goes, "What game?" And I said, "Assassin's Creed 3." And she goes, "Assassin's what?" And I'm like, "Oh, don't bother. don't worry about it." I usually don't tell her the titles just because, if someone has an interest that you don't, anything they say is just going to go in one ear, out the other. So that's how it happened. And then the next night, I went over to see her, and she goes, "Oh, I got you a little treat." And I figured it'd be something small, like we sometimes bring each other like food or something nice, a little gift or something. And she pulled out of her purse Assassin's Creed 3. She goes, "Here you go, I got it for you." So she went out and bought the game for me, and I was totally gobsmacked. Number one, that she remembered which game I was talking about, but also she would take the initiative to do that because that's a $60 game.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
That is incredibly awesome, and one of her motivations in doing so, obviously, is make me happy. That's a big one, and why wouldn't you? And the other one is that we're going to be moving in together next year, and I think she wanted to show that while she's not a gamer herself, she still supports the fact that I play games. So that was definitely a great thing that happened. I'm definitely pleased about that. And it's pretty much it. I mean, when you're really busy with something, busy with school, busy with work, time just flies by. So I have really nothing notable that happened during the week outside of that.
All right. Well, I guess I'll go now. So I don't know. I'm trying to think of things that happened. Really nothing. Because I talked about Sandy last week, I think. Probably did.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Other than that, I really haven't done too much because I worked Halloween. I worked a lot of the days pretty much. I worked the day I got my Vita, so that was terrible. I got my Vita and then I had to work a 9-hour day. So that was that terrible. So really nothing. I'm going to be the boring one here.
Erection 2012.
Okay, I will accept that. So let's just continue moving on. And I guarantee you, as we get through the podcast, I'm going to remember stuff I did, and then
who you did,
who you did, how you did them, where you did them,
how fast.
Exactly. Well, what were your thoughts on the election? I mean, that's a big topic.
Don't even get him started on this one.
Yeah, I was very passionate yesterday on Twitter.
That was not good. You need to control that.
I can't. I'm just that type of person. I'm upset by it. I know you both wanted Obama, but I didn't.
I'm Canadian, so I have no I have no sway in it. That's why I was posting really dumb things on my Twitter and Facebook, like "Happy Erection Day."
Yeah, that was a nice.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And I liked the person's comment where they said competition is stiff. I think it was.
Yeah, it led to a whole bunch of boner jokes, which, knowing me, that's exactly what I was going for. The other one, which I didn't get until afterwards, someone just said, that must be what they're saying in Chinatown today. Well, happy Erection Day.
Yeah.
So, yes, had a little fun with it, but I'm sorry you didn't get the outcome that you want. I mean, honestly, whatever your stance is, you know what? If you're a Romney supporter, Obama supporter, whatever. I mean, we all have our own opinions and what have you, but I purposely avoided social media after that just because people were just going ape shit over, damn it, Obama, or suck it, Romney supporters. It's just, it annoys me.
Yeah, the thing is that my dad is a small business owner. I'm one of those people, so obviously I lean towards that Republican side. But the thing is my dad's a recruiter, so companies go to him to find employees. So he talks to all these people, and he said that if Romney was elected, that all these businesses were going to be expanding and all this nonsense. And then Wow, I screwed that up. It's starting to get passionate. I'm sorry, I'm getting sweaty. But if Obama were to be elected, then all these people are gonna, just stay where they are or lay people off. It's just I don't know. I'm just not a fan of Obama.
That's fair.
That's
It was
it.
it was a
I don't
close
know.
race. If it's a consolation, it was a close race, and I thought early
Uh-huh.
on it was going to be a Romney victory. But you know what? Again, me being Canadian, I mean, we have our own political situation here to deal with, so I don't generally concern myself with the states. But it was an interesting race. So
Mhm.
Romney and the supporters, they fought the good fight.
I'd like to
Yeah,
think that.
I was watching them reveal those projected results like all night for pretty much the whole thing, and it was pretty intense. Like they would go. There was this one part where they revealed a huge bunch of states. It was just Obama, Romney, Obama, Romney, Romney, Obama, Obama. It would just go back and forth. Didn't seem like anyone had the advantage, and then at the end they knew that Ohio was the big state to have, and then when Obama got Ohio, and he also got California, I think, too,
Mhm.
which helped him a lot.
Hmm. Yeah.
But hey, California and Washington, they now have legalized weed, or they will December 6th. So
Yes.
so
And then
that'll soothe the pain for the Romney supporters in those states.
yeah, and that in gay marriage. Now there's a gay senator. I'm pretty sure. I want to say that. Is
Yes,
that right?
the first gay senator. Yeah, she was elected.
So much stuff is happening all at once.
Exactly.
Hmm.
But this ain't a political podcast. Sorry, I derailed it with that question.
I don't know. I could have gone into it more. I don't want to offend people with this. I'm just too passionate about it.
At least
Matt,
you're
Petrus.
at least you're passionate about something.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So, what now? Channels.
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 Ben, have you been watching any channels lately?
I have been actually. I'm a pretty avid YouTube watcher. I don't make videos myself, but I'm an avid watcher of other people's channels. Some of the notable ones I've been watching this week. One of my favorites. He goes by the name of Steve Benway. Do any of you watch his channel?
I do not.
Neither do I, but I've heard him a lot. But
Yeah, he's one of my favorite YouTubers for the simple reason he puts out videos almost daily, and in a lot of cases they're just gameplay videos. Like he'll have a camera pointing at the TV, he'll be playing a game, and he'll just be doing commentary while he's playing. And he's just got the right personality for that. I really enjoy hearing him talk and hearing his opinions on the games. And he's British, of course, so he's very prone to saying things like "oh bollocks" or piss off or sod off. I find
Yes.
that absolutely hilarious. But he also does another series called The Friday Talkie, where it's basically just him sitting in front of a camera and he talks about something that's going on YouTube, something that's going on in his life or something. And it's just he's one of those people you just enjoy hearing talk. He's got that personality for YouTube, and he puts out all these interesting gameplay videos, and he covers certain systems at certain times. So this past week he was doing games like Doom and Duke Nukem on the PlayStation 1, which it's amazing because I played those back in the day and I haven't seen them in about 15 years. Now I realize how awful they actually look. But he's, commentating on that. His tagline is, "It's me playing the game badly so you can see what it looks like." And he's really good at that. So that's one of my favorite channels. He puts out content on a very regular basis. So Steve Benway is a high recommendation. Another one, which is a good friend of mine, he goes by the name the Donovan Viper. I believe he was a guest of yours at one point, wasn't he?
yep,
Yes, he was. Yes, he
Yes.
was. In his
episode
phone.
6 and After Dark episode 1.
Exactly. Good old Liam. He has actually put out 2 videos this week. One is a pickups video where he just goes over some of the games he's received. And the other was an open tag video where he talks about why he started YouTube. And he kind of goes into things like, he started YouTube videos out of just having a lack of self-confidence. And he talks about how YouTube kind of gave him the confidence to converse with people and, form sentences and talk coherently. And I think that's a great thing. So I've always liked his channel. I've always liked his personality. We get along very well. And we had him on the Rad Rascals as a guest. I think it was maybe episode 15, if I remember correctly. But anyway, stellar lad. Definitely think he's awesome. So the Donovan Viper is one I've been watching. Another one is a channel which I don't know if you're familiar with it or not. It's called Azurite Reaction.
No.
I don't think so. No.
It's basically a guy who posts. He actually posts like 4 or 5 videos a day, and most of them are gameplay videos with commentary. But they're absolutely hilarious because every time he makes a wrong move in a game, he just swears, he curses. But he's not like an angry video game nerd clone. He just does all these different kind of gameplay videos. And when I first discovered his channel, he was doing rock band videos where he was playing on the drums on expert mode, and I thought it was just awesome. Now he just does a variety of gameplay videos, mostly PC, but he does these odd little games that no one's ever heard of, and he has live streams, he has live chats. It's a good personality. And I'm sorry, I got a cough for a second here. There we go.
That was
Ooh.
awkward.
Ooh.
Well, no, I mute my mic. I don't want to cough right into it.
Uh-huh.
But the other one, he goes by the name of Boogie2988. Are any of you familiar with him?
Well, shoot. We're not doing so well this
Not
episode.
doing so well.
You sound cynical.
I know, it's like 3 strikes out of 4. There we go. But no, Boogie2988, he's a vlogger. He's actually really popular. He's got maybe 250,000 subscribers now, but his videos are a mix of him talking about video games, him talking about serious issues, like he'll do actual opinion videos on, certain things that are happening in the world. And he also does certain characters, one of which is a character named Francis, who is like this... he basically is playing up the stereotypical gamer, because the guy's very overweight. Like, I think he's like 500 pounds. And he does this character Francis who's got like a really bad lisp, and he's all obsessed with Warcraft and Magic the Gathering, and he totally spazzes out. Like, one of the memorable videos that he did is when the patch for Diablo 3 wasn't working, and he was just going apeshit. And he just spazzes out. And then there was another video where someone drank his Mountain Dew, and he's like, "I'm raiding in here," and he's got no Mountain Dew. So he just does these funny character videos, and I could watch that guy talk all day. I mean, he's very intelligent. His serious he calls them rambles, but these very serious ones where he talks about things like, depression, being bullied, all sorts of stuff. I mean, he's a very smart man, and I enjoy watching his videos immensely. But he is a gamer, and that's kind of how I first discovered his channel. And he pumps out videos, and he pumps out meaningful content, and it's like nothing else I've seen on any other channel. So I do recommend checking it out highly. Boogie2988, that's the channel.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much all the channels. We were going to limit it to 4, so that's what I'll stop at. How about I pass the torch on to Cole?
I'm on hold. Okay, there we go. But channels I've been watching, really, I've been watching a lot of Howard Stern and the Comedy Central roast. I haven't been really watching any channels specifically though. Let me look at my history. But yeah, Howard Stern, I hear about him a lot from Operation Killscreen. Jumbo Junkie always talks about him.
Mm-hmm.
I never really listened to him because I don't know, I just never did. And he's a really entertaining guy. I really enjoyed, what was it called? He interviewed some celebrity, Jenny something. That was a very interesting conversation, talking about how to give the best. Well, this might be good for you, Ben. Trying to give the best groping, if you will.
Whoa.
The best
The
groping.
best blowjob kind of thing.
Okay, I need a link to this. Actually, this is useful information.
Basically, I guess you're supposed to multitask while giving it, so that's what they said.
Check your
so,
tweets
I don't know.
and file some paperwork, right?
No, that's what I'm talking about. But I don't know. Howard Stern, Comedy Central roast, and I want to say that's about it. I really haven't been watching too much because I don't know. YouTube, I'm just not as into it anymore. Bless you. But I've been more about like the podcast type of thing, just because I don't know why. It just seems like I have to like really dedicate myself to watch a video, because it seems like I just don't have as much time anymore. So I don't know.
You're such a busy teenager.
Kind of.
Are you both teenagers?
Yes.
Are you gonna feel awkward now?
Yes, I gotta be careful what I say from now on. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, we'll say I'm 18 to make you feel better about yourself. Well, I mean, I'm older. I'm driving. I have a job.
He likes to consider himself an adult,
Yes, I do.
even though he's no better a man than I.
Do you have a job? Are you driving?
Doesn't know. Well, I can't be driving by New Jersey's laws. I could get a permit fairly soon, but I only recently turned 16, which is when you can actually only get your permit in New Jersey. So
It seems so weird to me. I don't know, because isn't that the whole Sweet 16 kind of thing, driving and that? I don't understand.
well,
It's,
you can have a car, but you can there's like all these regulations, like you have to have an adult in the car that's had like 3 years driving experience, something like that, and then you can only have one additional um person in the car besides a dependent or something. There's all
Mhm.
these regulations.
It's similar in Canada actually. You have your graduated license, so you can get it at 16, but
Mhm.
you have to be accompanied by someone who has, I think, 5 years driving history and a full license.
Mm.
Someone with no demerit points, so things for speeding, reckless driving, et cetera, et cetera. And you can't have any alcohol in your system at all. So it's a
What?
it's a progressive thing. Yeah, it's
That's
Canadian rules, you know.
I thought it was really hard to get alcohol in Canada. Is that
Well,
true?
no, legal age is 19.
Oh,
Well,
is it
that's
19? I thought didn't you
Exactly.
have like special stores or something? Like you
In
can't just like go into Walmart or and
Yeah,
get it.
in Ontario where I live, you can't get it in like a variety store or in a convenience store or a supermarket. You have to go to a government-controlled liquor store or a privately owned beer store, depending on what you want to get.
Hmm.
So,
I don't know.
yeah,
Sounds like a lot more work.
that's all I've ever known, so that's what I'm used to. If I
Uh-huh.
lived in the states where you can get it on every street corner, I'm pretty sure I'd be a bloated alcoholic. Not that that's a far stretch anyway, but
Hmm. I can appreciate that.
yeah.
ah,
But Cole, since you enjoy Howard Stern, you mentioned that bookmark this and watch it sometime. So
Wait, what did you?
I said link.
Oh, the link. All right.
Yeah.
it's
But
YouTube. We know it's safe at least.
yeah, bookmark that and enjoy it sometime. I think you'll get a kick out of it. So
All right. I will. I will watch that.
yes,
Isn't that called a queef? I mean,
yeah,
is that?
for those unaware, it's basically Howard Stern interviewing a woman who apparently is she's a competitive queefer.
Oh,
Yes, and
That's
she has skill. Let's just say she has skill.
quite the sport.
man. I envy you. That is. I cannot wait to watch that.
I
In all
heard
honesty.
I heard they're adding that to the Olympics next year.
Yes, the queef rally. So
All right, Cole, is that it?
Um. Yeah, I think so. Really haven't watched too much.
All right. Well, as for me, more of which this is what Cole ridiculed me of last week was I've been watching more of Dance Showdown, which is have you ever heard of this, Ben?
no, I haven't.
It's basically exactly like your normal uh dancing competition that you see on TV, but except it's on YouTube and it's from a bunch of bigger YouTubers. Like they have Only Use Me Blade on there and Prank versus Prank.
Hmm.
Some big ones like last year they had Woody's Gamer Tag and people like him on there. They have like a bunch from different categories. They have some gamers, like there's a person who does Minecraft stuff. There's the normal person who does Call of Duty, and then there's some people from like the beauty category, and they're all basically they're put into. It's actually a pretty high budget for a YouTube thing. It's kind of I think it's like sponsored by Just Dance 4, but what is this? Okay, Cole, you're interrupting. It said I might be charged for that. I'm not gonna pay for that number.
You won't be charged.
Well, anyway, yeah, they give like professional dancers to these people and they train them and then they do performances. And then from it's 12 in the beginning and from there they narrowed it down to 4. And then the finals, this will be the finals. This is gonna be next week. So it's been pretty fun because a couple of the channels I watch are on there, like Screen Team, which do some gaming parodies and stuff like that, and Prank versus Prank, which do pranks.
I've seen them, and they're hilarious.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like me.
Uh-huh.
That doesn't sound like me at all.
Well, have you ever seen Prank versus Prank?
I actually haven't. No.
It's basically a couple who just their whole YouTube presence is just playing cruel jokes on each other, and they're hilarious. There was one where the guy made his girlfriend wear a mustache made out of his pubic hair, and
Wow.
he had her saying, you know, repeat after me. It's a me, Mario, and she's got this mustache on. She's trying to imitate Mario, and it's like it's a me wearing Jesse's pubes.
How did she get it to stick though? Did you just tape it on, or?
I don't know. I guess she could like put it on her upper lip and try to balance it between her nose and her lip. I don't know, but either way, it's hilarious, and they do all sorts of pranks with each other. Just they get progressively more elaborate and more cruel, and I just love them.
Mm-hmm.
That reminds me of something, but unfortunately, the podcast doesn't have video, so I can't show you the picture. I will add it as our podcast image. I have a big like afro thing. And for Halloween, like we have this big fro, and every time I look at it, it reminds me of pubic hair. So I was thinking, like this year, I was going to dress up as Obama, which I did at school. And I have this big fro, and I was thinking like putting it in my pants so it looks like I have these huge pubes that's poking through. So I didn't do that, obviously for obvious reasons, but.
Yeah, I don't know how well the school system would respond to that.
Yeah, they didn't even like my Obama thing. I just basically my strategy was just don't wear it in the hall. Just every class put it on. If they tell you to take it off, then just take it off. It just go through class to class, which that was I don't know an interesting experience. It was very sweaty though. The inside of that mask is like disgusting. Yeah.
Imagine how bad the pubes would have been.
Nah, it would. You see, our school is extremely poor, so we barely like heating in our school is very rare. So it would have kept me pretty warm, I think. Even though that is a pretty warm area to begin with.
I don't even want to go there. Literally, I don't want to.
It's all right. Zach, get us out of the situation.
He's on BRB.
Is he really? All right, then I guess I'll have to get us out of this situation. Well, okay. Now, why is he on BRB? All right, I will bring up the show notes and I will drive the ship.
Podcasts. That's the next section.
Podcast. Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. All right, so it looks like I start off. So in terms of podcasts, I mean, is Howard Stern considered a podcast, or is it? It's more just radio, though, isn't it?
Radio podcast. Same difference, yeah.
Yeah, so Howard Stern, Video Game Outsiders I listened to, where that was really good. Have you listened to Video Game Outsiders, Ben?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
I don't listen regularly, but I have listened to them. They have like over 200 episodes, don't they? They've been around for a long time.
Past 300.
Wow.
Yeah, they've been doing it since 2005. Bless you. It's going to be like a decade old.
What are we doing?
We're doing podcasts. We're doing podcasts now. He's talking about Video Game Outsiders.
Well, that's a bit rude, Zach.
Hey, I wasn't done.
All right. Do you want to continue on then?
Yeah, real quick. TheFineBros again.
Oh God.
Cole loves these guys.
Are those the ones who do like the kids react videos?
Yes.
Oh, I love those too.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty new to them, but I've seen a few of theirs, and then I saw their kids react to the election 2012 one, which is pretty much comedic gold. And
where do they get these kids? Are they different kids every time, or is it just their own like grandchildren or whatever?
I don't know exactly the relation, but they have like a set list of kids that they kind of switch in and out every now and then.
It has to be illegal. I mean, it's not their kids, is it?
No, there's a lot of them, so.
Because I mean, I know they're white, and I'm pretty sure it's a black kid. So
yeah,
I don't think he's related.
The black kid was the best in the elders react video, though. The young like 6-year-old, I think he's 6. He was awesome.
Did you see the elders react to the Black Ops 2 trailer?
Yeah, that was one of the ones I was gonna mention.
Where you have the old guy in the pink shirt and always going is pew 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 pew.
Yeah, I love they do it pretty well. It's pretty brilliant how they have like the three different demographics. They have kids react and teens react and elders react. They're able to get so many different perspectives, especially when they do them on the same topics. You can really tell the generation gap.
Zombies, groovy.
Check out the Nyan Cat one with kids react. That one's hilarious.
Oh, I need to watch that.
There's a little girl in there who reminds me so much of Honey Boo Boo. So,
yeah, like I've been watching more of their like teens and elders stuff recently because I obviously saw the high of what the kids can do, but yeah, I watched the teens and elders react to election 2012, which was pretty good as well. And yeah, it was interesting to see the older generations take on the election and everything. Plus, yeah, the elders react to Blops too. I watched that one too. So yeah, and then as for that, there was a Nintendo Direct thing, which I guess we can just mention that in news. But also been watching Video Games Awesome again with Costume Quest, Luigi's Mansion, and a bit of Slender. But after just watching Costume Quest, I realized how awesome it seems to be. The humor is pretty amazing in that just from watching it. And I remember hearing about it around when it came out, but I never really followed the game after its release, so I never bought it. But it seems really awesome. So yeah,
Okay.
that's it. So continue on.
With the podcast,
Yeah.
what have I listened to? Actually, that's about it. I really haven't listened to anything because I've been distracted for obvious reasons. So, as I look at the doc, Zach, have you
Yes.
listened to any podcasts?
I have.
Okay.
And the amazing thing is that for the first time in a while, I'm completely caught up again. And yeah, last time I was like 3 away when I made a huge jump from being like 15 episodes behind total. But now I'm pretty much all caught up except for the latest All Gen Gamers, which they posted only recently, so didn't have much time to listen to it in any way. But so there's the Users episode 16 and 17. I always love the Users. There's Rad Rascals episode 29 and 30.
Woo-hoo.
That was pretty crappy, right? Those episodes.
I know they were awful. You should not listen anymore, dude.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't make an archive for them or anything either.
Yeah, you wouldn't dream of doing that, would you?
No. Cole doesn't even know what we're talking about, but we'll just keep going. TV and Lost episode 96 and 97, All Gen Gamers 115, 116, and Operation Killscreen 83. And also after that, since I finished, I was caught up to date at that point. Then I went and finally listened to what some of the big YouTubers and Let's Players, they had a podcast together. The YouTubers are called The Creatures, and they have a podcast called Creature Talk. It's really amazing to see because their first episodes were like October of 2011, I think. And at that point, they had around, I remember Uberhack Nova had around 30,000 subscribers. And to put it in perspective to now, he's got over 1 million subscribers. So they've really blown up since then.
Wow.
And I'm looking forward to seeing how it's changed, if at all, like through the episodes, if they change their format. But right now, I think the format's really good. It's really crowded with like a lot of people every episode, but I know some of them aren't still in the Creatures, so I know it'll get smaller. But
remember, like it had to been like 2008 or 2009 where YouTube was exploding because Fred was about to get 1 million subscribers. Very first channel to get 1 million
Oh, yeah.
subscribers, and now he's not
He's
not
dead.
even like a thing anymore. Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know, but no, he's like signed up with Nickelodeon, and there's like
Yeah.
a bunch of Fred movies now.
Lame.
Yeah.
And
Well, all right.
yeah, their format's really good because every episode they do is actually live. Every episode, and that's understandable because they. Well, I don't think it was at that point, but now it's kind of all of their living is basically make all their livings through doing their videos. And it's really awesome with where they're at now because they've actually gotten so big and they've gotten together. These guys didn't even know each other in the beginning, but they gradually found each other and then they formed this huge creatures thing, which has blown up, and now they're able to buy actually like this huge house just for all of them to live together in, and they do all their video recording and stuff there. They have a specific room just for doing the creature talk and everything.
Specific room for where the love gets made. Of yes, I understand.
Yeah. And yeah, those are their different projects they do overnight. And yeah, their format where they have call-ins every episode is really cool. Because every time they have this kind of friendly competition where they ask the person who brought them to that episode, and the person says what link they clicked on to get to Creature Talk that time. Like whether it be through Twitter or Facebook or YouTube or whatever. And then that person, they say, gets a point, and then they're able to either keep that point for themselves or take away a point from someone else if they're feeling particularly evil that day. So it's really interesting dynamic. But yeah, that's it for podcasts. Ben, how about you?
Okay. When it comes to the podcasts I've been listening to, because I didn't get to listen to many lately, simply because I've been busy with other things, but I'm really, really behind on All Gen Gamers. Like, it's not even funny. I'm at episode 102 right now.
Whoa.
Yeah,
20
I'm way,
Yeah.
I'm way behind on that, just simply because I don't know, like I ran out of room on my iPod, so I'm having to purge stuff. But yeah, I think episode 102 is the last one where they had the guy from Game Gavel on. And so far, it's a good episode.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that I've lost interest in All Gen Gamers, but it's just the episodes seem to come out faster than I'm able to listen to them. So I have quite a backlog to go through, but I'm definitely going to, catch up on them soon. I'm going to pretty much purge all the podcasts on my iPod and then just start fresh. Hey, listen, this podcast that you may have heard of. Yes, I'm a little bit behind on that right now. I'm currently going through episode 9, the one where you had 3 kilobytes on.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely good stuff there. The users, I'm still back at episode 13. I'm listening to part of that right now, and also with Operation Killscreen. See, the thing is, I'm caught up on Operation Killscreen because they sometimes go a couple weeks without doing a new episode, so it's become known as quote unquote
every other week.
Yeah, pulling an OKS.
OKS.
Yeah.
Or no KS, right?
No KS. That's a good one. But yeah, they I don't know, real life happens, and they just haven't been able to record with the frequency that they used to. But still good stuff. Whenever I hear it, I really enjoy it. But I am caught up on the last episode, which was the Halloween episode, and yeah, like with All Gen Gamers, I'm definitely hoping to catch up soon. I do also listen to my own podcast. It's kind of narcissistic, I know, but I do go back and listen to my Rad Rascals episodes, just, maybe to get some pointers for myself as to where I can improve in the future, or, maybe listen back to segments where maybe I rambled too much, or, maybe we didn't have the flow that we should have, just, to kind of learn and apply to future episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Because with the last episode, we had Steph's 2 Def on. That one, I think, went really well. And, just trying to, listen, take notes, kind of maybe see what we could do. Maybe if there's a segment that isn't working, or if there's something that we can improve upon in the overall format or the flow. You got to listen to your own stuff. I think that's important.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's Zach's problem. He's a bit, how do I describe this? You're a bit unemotional sometimes, I feel, Zach.
Uh-huh.
Just saying, you want to listen back, it's all good.
To anyone who does podcasts, I seriously do recommend listening back to your own episodes just to see, because if you enjoy doing it, that's a good sign that it's a good episode or a good podcast. If you enjoy listening to it.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right, hey, that's my line. You can't.
I sense there's a rivalry between you two.
It's not really a rival. Well, actually, it is, isn't it? It's starting up. It's starting up.
It's more like him just trying to be better than me the whole time, but he's severely behind.
I don't know. Who's got the better afro? That's what I want to know.
If by afro you mean pubic hair, I'm pretty sure it's Zach because I made it.
No.
Oh man, hilarity! But no, I mean that too. It's like, you guys do your own podcast, and obviously it's definitely a good podcast. I enjoy listening to it. Always just listen back and just kind of see, what you think you could do better, what you think is working, and just always be progressive, always be willing to kind of change. And that's why I do listen to my own episodes. I know it's weird that I talk for 3 hours, then listen to myself for 3 hours, but I don't know. I think it's helped. It's definitely helped.
I don't know. I think I'd cringe if I listened to my older episodes. Just. Listen my own voice.
Aren't you kind of forced to listen to the episodes each week now?
Yeah, I do listen to them. I do kind of enjoy it. It's just that my voice is so terrible.
And my voice isn't?
No, your voice is beautiful. The things I would do to your voice.
Well,
if your voice was.
let me put you both at ease. You both have great voices.
Well, that means a lot coming from you.
Yes. Yeah, you have the
nothing wrong
voice.
Well, nothing wrong with your voices either. You see, this is the whole thing. You're your own toughest critic, especially when it comes to how you sound when you're recorded and played back. But trust me, you both sound fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember. I think it was the first episode of Rad Rascals, maybe. That I said that was my first feedback. I think was that you and Andy have the sexiest voices in podcasting or something like that.
Well, Andy's got the accent, so that definitely works in his favor. I have to tend for myself with my Canadian accent, where people think I'm like a and a boot. So, but no, I mean it's interesting too, because when you get used to doing it and you get used to hearing yourself recorded back, you find that you become in love with everything you do after that, and you get an ego. That's the problem. But I don't know. In my case, it's just when I listen back to Rad Rascals episodes, I think, okay, I talked a little bit too quickly there, or maybe I cut off the guest a little too much at that point, or maybe I rambled and I didn't give someone else a chance to speak. It's always good to be self-critical, but not overly critical. So. I don't know. That's the way it goes. But I do keep my my episodes on my iPod, and I just kind of listen to them periodically. Also, because we've had some good guests too, and I enjoy listening to their input as well. So, because we're at 32 episodes now, so that's how it's going. But yeah, that's all the podcasting I've been listening to.
Yeah, and you still have yet to get the 2 best guests in all of guesting, in all of podcast guesting.
Gee, and who would those be?
I don't know. All right, let's move along.
Oh no, Games of War and and the irate gamer. Yes, okay. Now
the irate gamer.
Consider it done.
X Corn Muffin X.
Actually, let's try to get the irate gamer. That would be something.
I actually think I think that would be interesting too, because you know what, I'm gonna buck convention here and say that I'm not an irate gamer hater.
No,
I wasn't at first. And I really wouldn't say I am now. It's just that I don't know. It's just I don't know how to explain. I'm neutral.
Well, the way I've seen it,
right, but
he didn't do right in the sense that he tried too hard to do something that he's not good at doing. I mean, when he's actually done game reviews, he's done serious kind of topical things. He's actually pretty good. I think when he tries to do the angry video game talk, I think that's really, it just seems forced. It doesn't seem his personality, and it seems like it's just bad acting. One thing you got to do is you got to go where your strengths are. You can't kind of force something, and I think the irate gamer is not the right persona for him. I think if he was a serious reviewer, I think that'd be better. He has more of the personality for that. But I'm not a hater. I mean, you know what? He's produced some good content, and I'm not a loyalist to the Angry Video Game Nerd or anyone for that matter. So I don't feel obligated to hate someone just because, he's not the only one who's ever tried to copy, the Angry Video Game Nerd. Countless people have done that in one fashion or another.
Vintage video game geek.
Vintage video game geek, eh?
Yeah, he's angry every review. It's ridiculous.
I should tell you, actually, I'm kind of the shitster that found that video of I don't know if you listened to the OKS where they played back that video, which the person who sounds like him.
Oh yeah,
that one.
Yeah.
My name is Toby Radloff. I'm the genuine nerd from Cleveland, Ohio, and we're going to talk about different types of cheeses. Yeah, I was the shit
Uh,
stir.
that was amazing. Vintage, you and Vintage have like the things I would do to your voices if your voices were mouths. Like I would just
I suddenly feel
shove. What?
there are certain parts of my body that are tightening right now as you said that.
Well,
But
I'm sorry.
don't be sorry. No, Vintage has that like very. They call him the audible chocolate. Like he's got that
Yeah.
that voice you just can't mistake. And it works. I like it. We had him on as a guest at one point on Rad Rascals, so that was definitely a pleasure. But yes, anyway, back to podcast talk. That's it for me.
All right,
Okay.
so we move on to games then. The thing that brings people in, but it's not what they stay for on this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we don't even talk about them.
No, that seems to be the case with pretty much every podcast, though, except for maybe All Gen Gamers and OKS.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
But yeah, I'll start it off, I guess. I haven't been actually playing that much, but since it's been over a week, there's been multiple that it feels like I haven't been playing for a while, but we're in this week. And that's Rayman Jungle Run. I've been playing more of that, which is on the iOS. And yeah, I'm still really enjoying that. I'm getting very close to 100% on that because there's not many levels really, and they're pretty quick to do. And I played a little bit more of Brawl with my brother at some point. That's always fun. Still got over like 400 hours on there. And Wii Sports Resort, obviously, from that game night. And I've just been playing some at my house too because it is just some good fun, I think. The basketball, I used to be really good at the basketball part, and I had a record of maybe like 23, which means pretty much nothing to anyone who's played it, never played it. But on the 3-point contest, it's always enjoyable. And I was playing like intense table tennis matches, which are always fun. And some DJ Hero, which I haven't been playing much of because I finished that officially at the end of last week, I think, actually. Or maybe the beginning of this week. But that was enjoyable. And Mario Tennis is the last normal game that I've been playing. I've got it on the virtual console. But yeah, it's been okay. But it's just like I've played Mario Power Tennis before, and that was really enjoyable, which is why I really want it now. Because I have the Wii version, which is the new play controls, but it's significantly worse because the new controls are terrible, and they don't even let you use the GameCube controller as an option, which was a huge missed opportunity there. And so I really want the GameCube version again. But playing Mario Tennis again, it shows you how much like different abilities you don't have. It's just basic tennis, which can be boring.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, in light of Wreck-It Ralph, I've been playing the Flash game Fix-It Felix Jr., which I remember playing a while back before the movie was released or while it was still being talked about. And it's pretty fun. You just go around, you hit the space bar to fix windows while avoiding the things he throws down, and birds fly by. It gets increasingly harder. And the people in the building leave pies out for him to get an extra life. So that's pretty fun. Mindless fun. That's a good thing to put a podcast on in the background and just play that. So yeah, that's all I've got for games. Ben, have you been playing many games this week?
Yeah, actually I have been. The first one I'll delve into is the most prominent one, and that's Assassin's Creed 3. The one that my lovely girlfriend was kind enough to buy for me because I was too poor to get it. It's funny because I didn't know what to make of it at first because I'm a big fan of the series. I'm not sure where the both of you stand on Assassin's Creed, but it's one of my favorite series of this generation. I played through all the games, beaten all the games, absolutely love them. Part 3, it starts off very slow. It's definitely not it's not the game where you just jump into the thick of the action and start killing people. It's not like your typical Assassin's Creed where it kind of hits the ground running. It's a very slow burning kind of game, but that's a good thing because I'm about 7.5 hours in right now, and I'm only just starting to play as the main character. you know. So you can tell that's kind of it has to build up to something, but it's the Assassin's Creed that I know and love. I mean, the controls are refined in a way that it makes the free running a little bit easier. I love the period in history that it's set in because it's set in colonial America,
Oh yeah.
18th century Boston, which I have a very close connection to that period in history because my mom's American, and
Hmm.
way back in her family lineage, I think she's what you call like a daughter of the American Revolution. Her descendants were the descendants of the Mayflower Pilgrims, So
Hmm.
there's a lot, there's a big connection that we have to kind of American history, and I love that period in time. I studied it extensively in school and in college, and you know, getting to play a part in things like the Boston Tea Party, and being there for big historical events like the Boston Massacre, and rubbing shoulders with like Ben Franklin and all these historical figures. Samuel Adams is one of them. It's a great period in history that I was kind of apprehensive. I didn't know how they would incorporate that into the Assassin's Creed series because historically it's always been in like Renaissance Italy, or periods of time long ago, like even in the Holy Land in the first game. I didn't know how it would kind of fare in a slightly more modern setting, and I use the term modern loosely. Obviously it's still 1700s, but they did it very well, and the story is really rich. It's really deep. The new protagonist, Connor, it takes a while to warm to him because I am a fan of Ezio from the other games, but I'm
Mhm.
slowly kind of warming to him because he's part British. He's like the son of a British man and an Iroquois woman, and his native tribe is being under attack by the colonists. And obviously he is trying to fight for his people, and I just love how they've incorporated that into the story. So I'm not even halfway done right now. The game is absolutely massive, but I'm really, really enjoying it. It's slowly becoming, and I didn't think I'd be saying this when I first started the game, but it's slowly becoming my favorite of the series.
Hmm.
So,
Really?
yeah, and I'm a big fan of especially Assassin's Creed 2 and then the two spin-off games, Brotherhood and Revelations. That makes a very tight and very solid trilogy. If you haven't gotten into the games, like have either of you played any of the Assassin's Creed games?
I definitely have.
Yeah.
I definitely haven't.
Oh, well, Zach, this would be good for you then because they're coming out. You have a PlayStation 3, right?
I do not.
Oh, you do not. Okay, well,
Mm,
never mind then. Shut my mouth.
sad face.
But they're releasing the Ezio trilogy as a specially priced package, which has the three games: Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, and Revelations. That's a killer trilogy.
Mm.
Like Cole, what are your thoughts on the series?
Well, the thing is, I first started off with one. Sorry, I just did something. Okay, so I started off with one, and that so far is actually my favorite. Believe it or not, even though that's the one that everyone hates because it's much more open world, and I'm like that one guy that got every single flag and got that achievement.
Mm-hmm.
But then I got the glitch where I can only get 99 of the flags, so that wasn't fun. But Assassin's Creed 2, it's really awesome. They just updated everything. It's really good. And I kept making the comparison to Zelda with it, but apparently that's not a good comparison, is it, Zach?
No, I can see the running. I just can't see the everything else.
Yeah, but it's kind. Yeah, it is. Yes,
Well,
it
you,
is.
you you do have the dungeons, and you do have some of the
Yeah,
locales that are reminiscent of Zelda, but I mean, the game as a whole, it's not really.
yeah.
Yeah, because Zelda was never about free running. So,
Mm.
Until now.
ooh, I think that'd be. Well, we'll save that for the main topic, but that'd be a good kind of crossover.
Mm.
So.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, if you haven't picked up 3 yet, I do highly recommend it. But what I do recommend to people is that you be patient with it. I mean, the story is very slow to build up, but it does lead to a very, very intense and very history-rich story that I think you'll ultimately feel more satisfied with than if it was just one of those cookie-cutter Assassin's Creed games. Because that's what I think. That's kind of what I was expecting, and I'm kind of glad that I was wrong.
Mm.
So that's one game I've been playing. The other is Forza Horizon. I'm still kind of grinding through that, and I'm a big racing game fan, but I'm not a huge fan of simulators. Like I'm not a big Gran Turismo fan. I'm certainly not. I don't know. There's a couple other simulation style games that I'm not that big into, but with Forza, it's always been that series that kind of finds the sweet spot between, the simulation elements such as upgrading your car and kind of fine tuning certain aspects of it, and also the arcadey style racing, which is what I'm more into with the drifting and just I don't know, just the fun racing. That's what I'm really into. And with Forza Horizon, they hit it right out of the park because it's an open world kind of experience where you're going through Colorado, you're competing in various races to win prestige and win a good reputation. And there's a good selection of cars, and I'm really enjoying it. They've really outdone themselves with Horizon, and the graphics are amazing. The driving controls are spot on. Like, it's one of the best controlling driving games I've ever played, which I played quite a few. So that's definitely saying something. And I don't know, I'm just loving everything about the game. I mean, Forza's always that series that I've enjoyed, and I didn't know how I would respond to, a game that kind of shifts it more from, track and series-based racing to more of an open world, Ridge Racer / Test Drive Unlimited kind of setting. But I think they struck a good balance with it, so I'm really happy about that. Other games I've been playing, I went back and played some more Sleeping Dogs, which that is a very strong contender for my game of the year. I think it's one of those games that, a lot of people kind of dismissed it initially as just, a Grand Theft Auto clone, but it's got a really good story, and I really enjoy the characters and the whole gang warfare fight, and the whole setting in China is something unique as well. So I'm definitely enjoying my playthrough of that. Zone of the Enders HD collection, still going strong with that one. I love those games back on the PS2, and I was very glad to get the HD collection. Not games I'd recommend for everybody. The robot combat mechanic is it's a little bit long in the tooth, and it feels a bit dated, especially in the first game. But the games as a whole are a really good experience. I do highly recommend. And what else? Have I been playing anything else? No, that's about it, actually. There's a couple other games that I really want to get back into. Like, I really want to get back into Dishonored. Borderlands 2, I think Crazy Craft, who's a member of our forums, he's threatening me with violent death if I don't go back and play it. So I'm gonna go back.
Wow.
Well, the reason being is that if you listen to
Yeah.
Rad Rascals, you'll know that Borderlands 2 was my most anticipated game of the year. Like, I was getting all hyped for it. As Andy would say, I've been kind of masturbating slowly to it, waiting for its build up and its release. And the problem is that I played it for the first week, loved it, and I still do. But then I put it down, got distracted with other games. I haven't touched it in over a month, which is it's very disconcerting, I have to say, because for my most anticipated game to just kind of shelve it that quickly, I didn't think that would happen. So I got to get back on track with that. But yeah, that's all I've been playing. On to Cole.
Okay, so I got the PlayStation Vita Assassin's Creed bundle. Ooh, got my little white Vita.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah, 2 days after release. So that was actually like a lot sooner than because I got it like November 2nd or 3rd, and it was supposed to come November 5th at the earliest. So that was a pleasant surprise. But the first thing I did was I went out and bought some more Vita games. So I picked up Wipeout 2048 and Gravity Rush. So those are pretty much the only things I've been playing. I will talk about them in a second, but before that, I was playing Final Fantasy Tactics A2. Started a new save file. Been playing some of that just because it's one of my favorite games, and I've been playing Minesweeper in Study Hall. Is that bad? I don't know. Probably should be doing my homework, but it's a nice break.
Well, Minesweeper, that takes me back.
Yeah, I don't know. I never knew how to play it before, but when my friends explained it to me, so now I'm like, I've been addicted. So I keep trying to play it on like expert, and I haven't been able to beat it on that mode. So I'm trying. But the PlayStation Vita games. Well, first I want to talk about the interface. Basically, it's kind of set up like a tablet, so it's all touchscreen. It's all no buttons or anything. But it's kind of set up like an iPhone where you have like your little icons, you install your games and stuff. And the first time I got it, when I first turned it on, I had to update it. It took like an hour. So it didn't bother me as much as I thought it would. Because a lot of people complain about the PlayStation updating, but I don't know. I was able to tolerate it. But the interface is like really slick though, because the screen is huge. It's not as big as like a Kindle or anything, but it's getting to that screen size, I guess. I don't know the right terminology. I'm illiterate. I apologize. So yeah, you can probably tell. But I don't know. It's basically just a tablet. But the games. First, I'll talk about Wipeout 2048. I'm really not huge into it. basically you're running around on or riding around on these hovercrafts, and there's online multiplayer, and I don't know why though. It just seems very dull. There's not very much personality. It seems like it kind of feels like F-Zero, and I'm not a big F-Zero fan, so that's I don't know. Everyone was recommending it. I guess the company that made it went out of business, or Sony put an end to them. So I thought I'd try to support them, and I get disappointed. Oh well, but Assassin's Creed I want to talk about next. That is actually it's very disappointing, kind of.
Oh,
It's good, but it's a little bit watered down.
That's what everyone's saying. Like I've been reading nothing but very mixed things about it.
I mean, it's a good game. Like, there's definitely a lot more you can do in this one than the first one. But in comparison to like Assassin's Creed 2, and I'm sure what 3 is, like they stripped away some of the elements from 2, but they added some from 3. So it's very strange. I'm not sure. I don't know. It was it was Ubisoft Sofia, I believe, that made it. So I'm not sure how they went about it. Like I would have thought would have been as simple as give them like the Assassin's Creed 3 infrastructure and tweak it, or I don't know. I'm not a game developer. I don't know this stuff, but it's stripped down a little bit. It's still good.
It's a shame though. I mean, it's one of those situations where a really good console IP just doesn't translate well to portable systems. None of the other Assassin's Creed games they've had on portables, like the PSP or the DS, have been good. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still gonna play it, but I will say this. This really got me mad at first. The frame rate is not that great. It's in comparison to the console ones, it's definitely much lower. I mean, the console ones are what, 60 frames per second? Do we know this, or I don't
Give or take.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on the platform, depends on the game, but yeah, usually 60 frames per second.
Yeah, but this has to be at most 30 frames. It was a little bit choppy. I'm used to it now, but at first it was really irritating to play. But I mean, it's cool. Like I can run up trees now. I can actually the Liberation game. It has a different feature where you can change personas. So basically, you are a female in this. You can like wear a dress, be dressed as a slave or as an assassin. So depending on what you want to do, you can change what you look like. So if you're dressed up as a female, you can charm guards to follow you and stuff like that. Just these little cool things. But other than that, Gravity Rush. I wanted to save this one for last because this game is so amazing. This is possibly going to be my game of the year. I was not expecting it to be that as good as it was, but basically, it is a third-person game with an amazing art style, amazing music, and you get to control gravity. It's basically like you're a superhero, almost. But the way the controls work is you press the right trigger. I'm trying to think. Yeah, right trigger. That'll make you go into this like gravity mode, and you just point the analog or the directional thing, crosshair, wherever you want to go, and you'll just go. And you have a meter where once it runs out, your gravity suit kind of disappears and you just start falling. And I mean, with this game, one of my favorite things to do so far is just to go up as high as I can while in gravity and then just drop. Just watch myself fall on my face, and it's just really fun. I don't know. It's kind of set up like Assassin's Creed though, where you have this big open world where there's people you can talk to, people have missions, the quest missions obviously, and then I don't know. It's kind of similar, but it's all cell shaded and it's great. And it's kind of set up like a comic book style, the way they tell the story, where obviously it has like the panels and it's cool. So Zach, you must buy this. Ben, you must buy this.
I must buy this.
I'm probably not selling it. Yeah.
I've been holding off on the Vita, to be honest, simply because I mean, there's some games that I do want to get for it, but not enough to justify spending $250 right now. That's just me though. It seems also that a lot of people I know who have Vitas, they never play them. So I'm waiting. Like I just bought a 3DS like less than a month ago, and how long did that take me? So so I'll eventually get it because it looks like a great system. So I just gotta bide my time and wait for a price drop.
At first, I wasn't really sure what to think about the analog sticks because they're much smaller. But I got used to them, and even with Assassin's Creed, the way they use the controls in that way, I mean, it still works. Like pickpocketing could be better because the way they have it set up is you tap someone to lock onto them, and then you use the rear touch screen to pickpocket, which it's definitely could be better, but I don't know, a couple things like that. So it feels a little bit watered down. Gravity Rush, though, it uses every aspect of the Vita, and it just makes it feel like I don't know, it's really hard to explain because it's such a unique concept. But like for example, there's this one ability called the Gravity Slide, where if you put 2 fingers on the Vita in the bottom corners, you will go into this slide mode where you'll have your gravity suit thing on, and you'll just start sliding around. And you use the Vita to tilt it like an iPhone game, where you're going ahead. So you're just kind of sliding around, things like that. Just these little touches. I like it, but and I would honestly say it is a system seller. A lot of people, if you look at the reviews, they're very mixed. Some people have a lot of issues with the controls, but the way I see it is, it's kind of like I was listening to TV and Lust talk about this on his podcast. It's kind of like you're a superhero. And if you think about it, I mean, when you first become a superhero, you're not going to be like Superman all of a sudden. You're gonna be like this really shitty superhero and fall, and I don't know. You learn. It's like driving. So, yep, that's Gravity Rush. Probably did a terrible job of pitching it, but that's, I don't know, not good at describing.
I thought that was a pretty good pitch. You should play for the Yankees, maybe.
All right, that was not funny at all.
Swing and a miss. Oops, see what I did there? Sorry, baseball puns are generally never funny.
They're not at all. They're I don't know. Zach, you need to redeem yourself. But what's the next segment?
Do you know what we have today, actually?
What?
We have questions, and I vow to answer these questions. I don't want to get them cut off this time, so I moved them on up the outline, and I put them right here so that we wouldn't commit that crime that you forced us to commit that one time for Zavin, where we had to wait like 3 weeks because of all of this stuff, where you cut it off right before the questions.
Of course.
So we got some questions from Pestro this time. He's come out of the woodwork, and he's emerged as a Hey Listen fan, and not just a users fan anymore. So we're grateful for these questions he's given us here. All right, first one is, what's your favorite generation of video games? Ben?
16-bit, without question.
And Cole?
This generation.
Whoa.
So it's the 7th? Yep.
You youngins.
I'd say 6.
Us and our render distance, and
I'd say GameCube era. That was well, then also the N64 era was really a memorable time for me, like nostalgic feeling, but the GameCube is like my most beloved system, so probably go with the GameCube era because that's when
the thing is, not like nostalgia aside, like this generation has everything now. 2D platformers, 3D adventure games, puzzle games, these big first-person shooters, online multiplayer. It has everything, I feel like. Even like
true, but I feel like it's lost that magic feeling, where it used to be like really like a sort of cool thing to play video games, and now it's like everyone plays the same exact kind of video games, like first-person shooters for the most part, and then it's like it's flooded the market, and it's just not as special in gamers'
Yeah,
hearts.
but I mean, you don't have to play this first-person shooters. It's not like
Yeah, you've got options. So, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have plenty of options. And I mean, I love the current generation as much as the next person, but I think the Super Nintendo era, that's the part that, it had the best combination of good graphics for the time and just, games you had to use your imagination, games that were simple, fun, and
mhm.
it also had some of the best RPGs of all time. It had some of the best platformers of all time, and it's a system that I think has held up remarkably well over time. And you can't say that for a lot of other systems. I mean, people love Atari games, people love ColecoVision games, but they're not as playable today as they once were. I think, the 16-bit era is where things kind of really made the leap because, the leap from 8-bit to 16-bit was massive. Whereas, from the PlayStation 2 to the PlayStation 3 era, it's not as dramatic. Maybe just because I'm older and I see maybe a little bit more critically, but I don't know. I mean, Super Nintendo for me is just like that is the boss system.
Mhm. Yeah, it's like and a lot of times I also feel like I wish they hadn't gotten to the point now where most games take like 30 or 40 hours to beat, and back then you could just play them in 2 hours and get almost as much enjoyment from them, considering how rare it was to get a game and everything. And
Exactly. And you play a
yeah,
game repeatedly. Like how many games of this generation have you beaten and then gone back to play again? Probably not that many, but
yeah,
how many times have I played through
Um,
Super Mario World, Castlevania 4, Contra,
hmm
in
all
all
those.
honesty, I've actually replayed a lot of games.
Well, that's
I
because
don't
you're
know.
weird.
I'm not.
it is
Okay,
weird.
okay.
Yeah.
It is true though. It is true.
I have to
'Cause
admit, though,
yeah.
nostalgia is a big factor, though. Nostalgia is the biggest reason for me, and
Mm.
I mean, I can't deny it. I'm a nostalgic type of person.
hmm You're the nostalgic king, you might say.
Oh no, that's Eric. I can't even aspire to the level of sexiness that he has. So
Mhm.
him and Liam, I worship them. So
So, moving on then. Uh, he asks, which Nintendo game slash franchise would you like to see revived? And what would you like to see in the revision? A remake of the original and/or another installment in the series?
Castlevania.
Star Tropics.
Whoa, that's a
Yep.
pretty radical answer right there.
I like
Hey,
that.
because it's pretty much like a Zelda kind of thing.
hmm
I can see them doing something with it. Just not make it bad. Like Star Tropics. It's not playable at all now, in my opinion.
You know,
Zach. Yeah.
I'm not sure entirely, but I would say, a lot of people say this, but Star Fox would be a good one to see, I think. Only because, especially in the Wii U, I think it would work really well. They could have their little gimmick with their gyroscopic controls and everything, and but you could also have so many different ways to play it, and they could really incorporate different things using the gamepad with the controllers and everything. There's probably a lot of different things they could do with it. But it's interesting. A lot of the big Nintendo franchises that that they're still around. That's still what they're making their money off of. So it's hard for me to think of ones that have necessarily died off. But yeah, Castlevania is a pretty good one, but it's still got its place in the handheld market, though.
Well, it does and it doesn't. I mean, the thing is, the Castlevania games. I mean, the ones for the DS were good, but I mean, I'm talking about like the originals for like the
hmm
Nintendo and the Super Nintendo. I'd like to see it go back to that style, just where the focus is platforming. They don't have all these RPG elements, which
hmm
sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And quite frankly, the 3D Castlevanias, they haven't been very good. I mean, Lords of Shadow was the most recent one, and as hard as I tried to like it, I couldn't. I mean, I
Hmm.
think it's one of those series they need to really harken back to the roots of it, and I think that would be a great thing. Not only fan service for those of us who played it originally, but to show new fans kind of where the series came from.
I just feel like that would be, for some reason, too big of a risk for Nintendo at this point because they're able to do that with things like Donkey Kong and Mario go back to 2D things because they are so blown up and well known now. But
Well,
Castlevania isn't near as big a name, I would say,
Well, I would actually disagree because I mean, look at the Super Mario series. Because how many of the new Super Mario Brothers have they released? I mean, they released a platform one on the Wii, and that one did amazingly. They have a new one coming out for the Wii U. They have two of them on the 3DS. Well, one of them on the 3DS. You know, they've done really well when they've gone back to the 2D style, I think, and that's what a lot of fans want.
My point was that Mario is just a huge name. I think Mario will sell, even if it did. Obviously, even when it goes to sports games, racing games, it sells. But I don't know if Castlevania kind of has to accommodate to the trends of the current generation to succeed.
It's a little more niche. You're right about that, but I think you know it's one of those series. It was a flagship series for Nintendo, and I think if they were to do it right, if they were to revisit it and do a really solid 2D HD upgrade for it, I think it would sell respectably. Probably not at the level of Mario, but at the same time, I think there would still be a good market for it. I still see it doing well.
Yeah, because I mean, Lords of Shadow actually was their best-selling Castlevania, believe it or not. That was like I don't even remember. It was like 1.5 million or something like that. So I mean, it did well.
Wow.
But the problem is they don't come out as often. Those big console Castlevanias.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not a first-party Nintendo title. It's Konami that owns it. So I mean, it wouldn't be the biggest risk for Nintendo, but I think it would be actually a great thing because I mean, look at Mega Man for example. I mean, Mega Man 9, Mega Man 10, those things sold incredibly well, and those were basically 8-bit style platform games released on current hardware. So I mean, there still is a market for that. It's not even just nostalgia, but just people who want a good, solid platforming experience. I think they would gain a lot from having that. But then again, who knows? I mean, it's one of those things. The market is so fickle nowadays. When you think a game is going to do well, it might not. So it's anybody's guess. But if I had a wish, it would be probably to revive the Castlevania series in the modern style with 2D and with the old style of gameplay.
They need to make HD versions of the original Donkey Kong countries.
Oh yes,
that just came to me.
That
just came.
Great. All right.
Yeah. Just actually, I didn't. No,
he will if they release it.
Yes, I will.
Oh,
that's a good choice. That's actually because I love Donkey Kong Country, and I remember getting it for Christmas 1994 and absolutely loving it. I still do to this day. So I'd love to see HD ports of that.
I don't want to have to emulate it. Because everyone says that the Super Nintendo versions are the best. So those are the ones I want to play. But the problem is getting the Super Nintendo versions. Yeah.
Have you played Donkey Kong Country Returns?
No, I was thinking about picking it up, but I got a Vita, so I didn't.
That's a huge recommendation for me. I praise it all the time. It's one of my favorite games of all time now. It's like almost near perfect 2D platforming to me this generation.
I definitely want it, but I think I'm gonna have to sell a couple things because I can't just keep buying games. I have to be responsible. So there.
Right. So we're done with that question, are we?
Yes.
So the next question is, should there be achievements in Nintendo games?
Yes.
Yes.
Sure.
My biggest disappointment from Nintendo was no achievements.
Really? That's your biggest
achievements are a huge factor in games for me. Huge. I'm an achievement whore, as they say.
Did you buy The Last Airbender just to get those 1,000 achievement points?
I said I was an achievement whore, not an asshole.
There's a fine line between the two.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, it's a missed opportunity. People nowadays, they do love achievements. Even if you look at iOS games and many tablet games, they've incorporated achievements into it. So I don't know. It appeals to that side of us who likes to show off our the spoils of our gaming online to our friends, and say that my gamer score is bigger than yours and my balls are bigger because of it. So I think Nintendo is missing an opportunity there. Now the Wii U is not going to have achievements. Is that correct?
No, it actually is. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, it is.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Did they even discuss that?
I'm pretty sure they did. They're going to be accomplishments, if I'm correct. But I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere.
I think it could work well with the whole Wara Wara Plaza, which they were talking about recently. I don't know if you heard about that yet, but we'll go over that in the news. But they discussed that originally, where you can see as on your homepage, you'll see the Mii's around what game they're playing or talking about. I think it would be interesting just to have like achievements pop up from them, just basically gloating about what they got. That would be a good way to share it and get other players to go out and get those games just for the achievements maybe. So I think it's a good selling point, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So anything else to say on that?
Nope.
All right. How do you feel about the SFC Satellaview? Was it a good concept? All right. Do you guys know what this is?
I have no idea.
Cole?
Nope.
Yeah, I didn't either, but I thought I would go ahead and I don't usually don't want to like look up answers ahead of time for these questions, but I just saw that in there and I looked it up just so we wouldn't be entirely out of the blue. But apparently, it's basically like this add-on for the Super Famicom, I believe, which was, and it was similar to the Sega channel, but it was short-lived, I think. But it had like you could download games and do things like that. Yeah, I guess in the sense it was a good concept, but it just didn't go through with it in that case. Because obviously that's a big thing of the current generation, which has done well with the downloadable games and a hub to do that in. It's just too far ahead of its time, I guess.
I agree.
Here's the thing. I just went to my desktop and I'm looking at the outline. There's something strange about it. Zach,
What?
do you want to elaborate on that, or?
I don't see anything out of the ordinary.
All right. So to answer the question, it's I don't even really know what to say. It's just it was a thing. I don't know. What was the question again?
How do you feel about the SFC
Okay, how do I
Satellaview?
feel
Was it a
about
good
it?
concept?
No, it was not a good concept.
No?
Or else we would have known about it.
I see the dogs are wild. They agree too.
Yeah, that's why I keep muting myself. Just
But a
trying to work
concept
it
is
out.
different. A concept is different than an execution, though.
Yes, and I just noticed what's up with the outline too.
Oh yeah?
Zach, you dirty, dirty boy. So, me personally, I don't know enough about it to speak intelligently on it. So, yeah, that's my answer.
Mm-hmm. All right, so the last question. Let's say that you're out game hunting, looking for a big catch. I'm assuming we're talking about hunting here. You're out walking in a suburban area and suddenly you randomly encounter a yard seller. The seller simply stands there staring at you, and then he whoops out an NES cartridge. You start to feel sweat drip down your forehead as you know that this is a rare game, but you don't know exactly what it's worth. However, you absolutely want to catch the game. Would you, A, throw a bundle of money in the man's face, B, command your dog to attack the cartridge so that it loses some of its value, C, take out your rope from your backpack and make haste home to your PC so that you can look up what the game is worth?
I guess he doesn't take into account that most people have smartphones nowadays, and they
Yeah, I
can
was just
figure
about to say that.
and they can figure that out on the spot. But,
All right, let me just look this up real quick. Yeah.
yeah, well, most of us can do that. But I mean, realistically speaking, if I was at a yard sale and they were offering a game that I thought could be valuable, see, most yard sellers have no idea what stuff is worth. Otherwise, they wouldn't have it out there on the yard sale. If they knew it was valuable, they wouldn't sell it, to someone passing by who would offer them 50 cents for it. So I would just try to get the best price possible, and I'd take the risk. That's all I do.
In this situation, that's not even an option. You're not allowed to do that. You have to throw a bundle of money in his face if you're going to go that route.
Okay, well, I would just have a pocket full of pennies. I'd throw the bundle in his face and take it. There's my answer.
There you go. Cole?
Um, I would shoot myself because I'm not good at taking tests, and all these letters are confusing me.
Okay. I'd say C, assuming that we are in a world without smartphones and quick access to things. So this is the only way. I have to take out a rope and then get to my computer at home.
How does a rope get to your computer? Do we live in the fucking Tarzan jungle here? Where we have this?
Yes.
That's what I was thinking. He didn't even say what you were going to do with the rope. He just said to take it out of your backpack and then just make haste home.
Does it last though?
You have
confused.
you have to skip rope as you're running home.
So, oh yeah. So that adds a challenge to it, but is it worth it to search up what the game is worth?
By the time you get back there, someone will have taken it, so it's not worth the risk.
Yeah, the person selling it will now be aware that it's worth something if you're willing to jump rope all the way home to get the price.
No, he'd just be like, I don't like this crazy fucker. I'm not selling him anything.
I'm hiding this back here.
Yes, Nintendo games? What are those? I don't have any of those.
Right, so that's all of our questions this week. Keep them coming, people. I like this whole thing where there's like one person asking a question pretty much each week now. It's pretty good. Thanks, Pestro, for those. Cole, anything you'd like to say to Pestro?
You're all right.
You done
Okay.
good.
That's
All right.
yeah.
Okay, so news. I've got a little bit of news. Not too much news, but it's still news. And that's what one of the things I was watching was the Nintendo Direct in Japan. Did you watch this or hear anything about it?
I heard
I've
about
heard
it. I
of
didn't watch
it.
it.
Yeah. Same.
So basically, the two biggest thing I got out of it was they elaborated a bit on the whole Wara Wara Plaza, which I talked about earlier, which I think is a really cool like home system. It's like definitely different than what we've seen before, where like the 360s is just it looks really stupid now, to be honest, the 360s, but it's flooded with advertisements and stuff. But yeah, this one you get to see all the Mii's in the world just scattered around trending games and everything with what they're talking about, and you can go and click on a Mii to see their full message and everything. I think it's a pretty cool system. What do you think of that? Do you know much about it?
Not really.
No?
Isn't the interface for the Wii U? Isn't it just like the 3DS? Like
No,
oh.
not really. It's you should see the video. They've shown it multiple times, but it's basically just it'll have like squares, which are like the symbols for different games that are kind of like trending at the moment, that are like particularly popular with maybe your friends or some people around the world, and then they'll have their Mii's around it, and it'll show some of their messages they're saying, and the Mii's around it will just be people who've been playing it or talking about it lately. And I think that's a really cool way to advertise some popular games, but also make it a social thing without seeming like flooding advertisements for your games. I think it's pretty clever. Ben, do you have anything?
I've heard about it. I mean, the thing is, I haven't been. It's hard to say without sounding like a naysayer, but it seems gimmicky to me. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I'm not a fan of what Nintendo's kind of doing with the whole. I know there's the home network thing. There's the thing with the Mii's and the avatars and what have you. I don't know. Just I haven't been impressed with what I've seen from Nintendo thus far. I mean, I have a 3DS and they have a fairly decent, fairly streamlined online integration system, and it's getting better, I find. But I don't know. Like, nothing about it is really wowing me. I'll be honest with you. Maybe it's just because I'm a little bit cynical about it, but I don't know, these cutesy little gimmicks that it has, they just, for me, it's all about the games. I don't really care about the social networking aspect of it. I don't really care about, any of that stuff. So personally, for me, it doesn't excite me. But I can tell for someone who's maybe more of a diehard Nintendo fan or someone who enjoys the systems that are currently in place, I think they would probably benefit a lot from it. But me personally, I don't think I would.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, I guess I'm kind of a diehard Nintendo fan, but I've also got a 360, so I know what internet is capable of and how it doesn't have to be overly social, but I do like social stuff. But
I like social stuff too, but I don't I don't feel a need to have like, all these like lobbies where you kind of mingle with other people's Miis, and for me that's cutesy stuff that just I wouldn't spend the time on. I might show interest in it for like the first week, but I would then get bored and I'd probably never go back to it. I mean, with me, it's just I enjoy playing my games. I enjoy easy online integration where if it's a game like Borderlands 2 or, Forza Horizon or any of those other games where you can just play co-op or competitive, you can just link up with people and just enjoy it. You don't have to go through all the cutesy bull crap. But again, I haven't actually seen it too much in action, so this is just my preliminary thoughts. So it doesn't excite me, but then again, as we get further into it and as it develops more and evolves more, I'm pretty sure it'll be a good system. It's not a bad system. It's just it doesn't appeal to me personally.
How do you feel about the Miiverse in general? Like the whole fact that I think it's pretty cool because they like during the game, I'm pretty sure they said that you can like directly from the gamepad, you're able to connect. You can do tweets, and you can also have like this Miiverse system, which is like Twitter within Miiverse as well. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's only going to be as strong as the community that uses it. And I mean, I don't picture. See, that's the thing with Nintendo games in general. They're usually not the best for multiplayer. Usually they're not the best for online integration. Now, the Wii U is looking to change that because they're going to have Black Ops 2. They're going to have Medal of Honor Warfighter. They're going to have the top shelf cross-platform game. So that could very well change. But I mean, the whole thing, I don't even. On my PlayStation 3 and my Xbox 360, I don't use the Twitter apps. I don't use the Facebook apps. I don't personally see a need for like I'm in there playing a game. I'm not going to pause the game to just shoot a tweet out into the Miiverse. I mean, what I'll sometimes do is if I'm playing a game, I'll put it on my Twitter account. Like I'll just say I'm in the middle of playing this. First impressions, I'm enjoying this part of it. I don't like that aspect of it. That stuff I enjoy, but that's something I just do manually with my phone. I don't really see a need to have a console integration with it. Like just I don't know. I don't personally have a use for it. But that's not to be a naysayer. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's a system that Nintendo is going to implement well, and people are going to enjoy it. But I don't see that's the thing. I don't see Nintendo as being very community focused, at least in terms of how they integrate their games and how they connect players to others. And I think the Wii is a perfect example of that because that's not known as being a good online system. The Wii U has yet to prove itself in that arena. So I don't know. It's just to me, it just seems like it's wrapping something up in a cutesy package, which it's trademark Nintendo. I mean, that's what they do. But from a practical standpoint, I don't think it's something that would maintain my interest.
I don't know. I think they can, in terms of multiplayer, I think they can put out the games because if you think about it, they have Metroid Prime, which could possibly compete with Halo. Maybe, probably won't, but I like to think so. Then they have F-Zero, Mario Kart, Kid Icarus, and Smash Bros. But I'm not sure if that's enough for them, but maybe. I don't know.
I don't think so. I mean, the whole purpose of the cross-platform games is to win people away from the competition. So to get those people who only play on their 360 or their PS3 to kind of migrate them over to the Wii U console, and it's going to take a lot more than the Miiverse to do that.
I don't think they will.
That's not going to get them to come running. I mean, people are loyal to their consoles, and I mean, me personally speaking, I still have my preference. If I'm going to play online, more often than not, it's going to be on my 360. I mean, I'm not buying a Wii U just to play Call of Duty. I'm buying the Wii U to play Mario and Zelda and Metroid and the Nintendo stuff that I like. I don't buy it to play Call of Duty or Assassin's Creed.
I do feel like Miiverse is a smart move by Nintendo though, because they're understanding that Twitter and social networking is blowing up now, and incorporating that is a smart move, especially with their own system. Because I think it's like the next step they're trying to go with Nintendo games is, since they aren't known as the multiplayer people, aside for the sit in that couch multiplayer, which is held to Gamer's heart still, but I feel like this is their next step. They're trying to incorporate social things in games that might not even feel social, but to connect the world and also kind of promote their own games without having to do anything.
Yeah, it will take off eventually. I mean, I have no doubt that Nintendo is going to do well with it, and I could very well be eating my words when I have a Wii U and I'm enjoying, the Miiverse and all that other stuff. It's just at this point in time, it holds limited appeal for me. But then again, nothing is absolute.
All right, have you seen the second thing I really wanted to talk about was the video chat that they showed. Have you either of you seen that video?
No.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Ben, you need to see that video. I think it rivals the whole. I don't know if you know about the whole banana thing that Iwata did after. I think it was after E3. There was a video, and he was just holding bananas for a while, and then sat them down. I think this rivals that because of how funny it is. Because you see Reggie Fils-Aimé speaking Japanese and chatting with Miyamoto on the Wii U gamepad. So it's pretty golden.
I'll check it out for sure.
So Cole, what did you think of that?
I was thinking of a different video. Never mind. Didn't see it.
Well, this one I think it looks pretty cool. Obviously, it was a corny little awkward conversation that was showing. Did I say Miyamoto? I meant Iwata was in the conversation. It showed Iwata and Reggie like using the video chat, just talking, and you could like draw on it and stuff. I could see a lot of penis drawings coming from Ben during those conversations.
Oh yeah, I mean, come on, give someone the chance to draw something freely. 9 times out of 10 is going to be a penis.
Mm-hmm.
It's human nature.
Yeah, but I think that this could be good. The video chat looks actually pretty well done, pretty well executed, especially if you're just sitting there. This could be a good thing for the community as well, to be able to connect that way without necessarily needing to set up Skype and going on there and everything. Because it said that while you're in game, the home button will blink when there's an incoming call. And then I'm assuming you can go check that and answer it if you want.
Hopefully it pauses your game.
I know, that's what I was wondering. They didn't mention that. I was assuming, I was like, well, what's the point of a home button if you wouldn't be able to exit out of it? I'm assuming it would be like the 3DS, except maybe you'd actually be able to launch that software without stopping the other one. But I think that would be pretty cool.
It sounds interesting. Now, are either of you planning to get the Wii U at some point soon?
Nope.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Originally I was, but I decided against it. I just bought a Vita, so there really is no need.
Mm-hmm. I have it on. I don't have the money for it yet because I don't even have a source of income right now. But I will next summer. But I have it. It was pretty much the only thing I had on my Christmas list. Was the Wii U, just so I'd have a better chance of getting that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping I'll have it at Christmas time, though obviously it'll be hard to get. But yeah, they said they might be able to do that, but we'll see.
Yeah, because I mean, I played the Wii U when I was at the Fan Expo this summer, and I was impressed with it. Like, I mean, it's a good piece of technology. I'm holding off though. There's not enough games at launch that really have me excited.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. I can appreciate that. And
yes, you can.
Stealing Cole's lines again.
Pretty much.
So, but yeah, it's Nintendo. I'm trying to, like, I've made these outrageous vows that I'm pretty sure no one else is making, that because I'm such a big Nintendo fan. Like, I like the 360 only because of what it offers, but now it's looking like the Wii U is going to be able to offer that pretty much. Well, obviously it's going to miss out on some titles that people aren't willing to do. Like, I don't know if you'll be able to get a Grand Theft Auto game or not. Stuff like that.
I'm sure you will. Why wouldn't you?
Well, no, I'm not sure the Wii U will be able to get that. Because it didn't seem like, I remember hearing something about Rockstar where they didn't seem very enthusiastic about
I
the
thought that
Wii
was Bethesda.
U. Maybe them too. But I know Rockstar was one of them.
Oh.
Well, yeah,
I think they're just saying that now.
Well, these are games that have never historically been on Nintendo consoles, keep in mind. So, obviously it would be totally new terrain for them to be on a Nintendo system. I mean, we didn't have Grand Theft Auto 3 on the GameCube.
No.
We didn't have what is it, Skyrim on the Wii, so
But
yeah, but the Wii was also weaker. But for the GameCube, I think that's more so just because it didn't sell what they thought it would.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But
it could go either way.
But
Yep.
What I was saying is like I've made these outrageous vows to basically any cross-platform game that appears on the Wii U, I'll get it on the Wii U over the other systems. Only because I feel like Nintendo needs the support now now more than never. Now the more than ever, because they're gonna have to compete with the 360 and PS3 for now cross-platform sales more than usual. And yeah, I'm more loyal to Nintendo than most of the other systems. I might get the next Xbox, probably not. Thinking Wii will be one of the last ones I get. But yeah, and I also feel like the Wii U gamepad and all the different control schemes offer a lot of what I think the other Xbox or Sony system would offer anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me though, the thing is, I'm going to be going to college in 2 years, so it's like, do I really want to buy this and just have it sit at home for like the rest of the generation? It's like, no, I'm just going to stick with the Vita. I think I'll get the cross-platformers, blah blah blah, cross-platform games on that if they come to it, if it doesn't die. But it's kind of my thing now, I guess. The Vita, I'm all about it. So,
Mm-hmm.
but with the Wii U, they're not impressing me with it. Um, I mean, New Super Mario Bros. Wii U is, or just U, I guess. That looks, I think it looks really good, but I need more. I need a big game that I haven't played before, and it kind of looks like more of the same. What I really want to see though is that one awesome Zelda game that's supposedly rumored for it.
Mm-hmm.
So bring that out, then I will buy it. I don't care how much money it cost.
Hmm. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, the hardware itself, I'm very impressed with, but the games are really what's going to push the system for me. And there's not enough. Generally, it's system launches in general. I'm not even just talking Nintendo. Generally speaking, I don't jump on the first generation. I never have, and for the simple reason that the launch rosters usually are not that good. And give it a little bit of time, the price goes down. They release enhanced features for the newer version of it. The 3DS is a perfect example of that. And I waited to jump on that, and also, I mean, the Xbox 360, I didn't get it till 4 years after it came out, and I'm glad I waited. Given all the hardware fails that they've had, and given all the problems that people have had with it, I was able to kind of, jump on late in the production cycle to the point where I don't have to deal with those issues like the red ring. So, I mean, even if the Wii U had a great launch roster, I probably still would hold off. I don't think it would have convinced me to get it day one.
Mm-hmm. I feel
There's a,
like the I feel like the launch window is really good. Not the launch day anymore, but I think the launch window is one of the best launches I've seen.
oh
Because it's
yeah, I
very
mean,
varied.
oh come on, Rayman Legends. I mean, that game looks amazing.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's got a great launch window, and I think as far as launches go, it's stronger than most. And I think it will shift the units, it will shift the consoles, and there is enough content there to make it worthwhile for some people. I think just I don't know. For me, there's always been value in waiting.
Yeah, and sometimes I don't understand though the complaint of poor launches only because you don't need 20, 20 excellent games day one. In fact, that might be even worse because you're gonna fall behind. I think if you have like just five maybe at the most, like really stellar titles, then you'll be able to actually keep up with them and not have to get caught up at a later time anyway.
Yeah, but what's a stellar title to one is different from the next
Yeah,
person. I mean, you got to have a variety there because some people might like FIFA, some people
yeah,
might
that's
like
true.
Call of Duty. So it's got a very. I will admit, it has a stronger than expected launch window. So who knows? I mean, hopefully you do get it for Christmas, and hopefully it is everything you hope it'll be.
Hmm.
Which I think it will be. I think you're if you like the Wii and you remain loyal to it, you still enjoy the Wii. Then I think the chances of you being disappointed by the Wii U are very small.
Hmm.
So
All right,
Yes.
so that's what I have for news. Cole, do you have any more news, or should we move along?
Couple sale. Oh, Assassin's Creed 3 sold past 3 million units. Which that's huge. 3 million is a lot.
mhm.
Like in comparison to like Borderlands, it only sold like 1.5 million. So that's to put a little perspective. And the Vita bundle, Assassin's Creed, I have no idea how much it sold, but
Two. It
yeah.
sold two.
I know the actual game itself sold about 100,000, but I'm not sure about the bundle, unfortunately. You would think that would have pushed a lot more people, though. I don't know. Assassin's Creed 3 in
Hmm.
your hands, but guess not. So that's it for me. You got everything. Good job, Zach.
Good job, Zach.
I never have news too. Okay, so main topic. What we're gonna do for our main topic today is basically we're gonna go over any video game ideas or games we'd like to see in the future. No matter how far off in the future it may be, you might want an experience where you can just transfer your whole body in the game. Who knows? But that's still something you could want, I guess. But anything from brand new, fresh ideas that you would like to see put into action, or maybe just some sequels. Though mostly it'd be interesting to see some new ideas, maybe crossovers, whatever you have. Ben, do you have any? Well, wait, let's actually. Maybe we could do where people will name off our ideas in this order. When we'll start with Ben, but then we could ask everyone like whether they would buy that game or not if it were a real thing, maybe.
Yeah, I maintain this. It may sound like I'm being flippant about it, but actually, I think this would actually be a really good crossover. Crossover the Super Mario series with the Grand Theft Auto series.
Hmm.
You know, Mario carjacks you and throws you out of your Goomba shell cart or something.
Hmm.
I think that would actually be a lot of fun. I think, you know,
Yeah.
it's a me, a pop of the cap in your ass. So I think
That would be interesting.
that would be, yeah, the Super Mario, and you know, you could have like Luigi, you know, he like beating up hookers with lead pipes and
Yeah.
Beating up Princess Peach,
exactly.
beating up Daisy, and
A clever use of the mushrooms would be good too.
Exactly. Or you know, you see Mario kind of humping the princess and one up mushrooms coming up. Bring, 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 bring.
And then Luigi just shoots down Mario and he sees it.
Runs over Mario, makes some street pizza. See, the potential here is limitless for that. So that would be the first kind of new idea / crossover I would propose.
Let's ask yourselves, Cole, would you buy this game?
does it cost $60?
I'd assume so.
Okay, I'd buy it.
There we go.
All right, I'd buy that too.
Ding, ding, ding.
That's
have a winner.
winner. That's a winning idea right there.
Hot dog. Hot dog. We have a wiener.
A guaranteed at least 3 sales. That's a moneymaker.
Right. Nintendo, get on that.
And well, I guess they'd have to. Well, they don't even need to bring in Rockstar. They can do it on their own. It doesn't have to be called Grand Theft Mario Auto. As long as you have violence in there, you can't copyright that.
Exactly.
All right. So, what's your next idea?
Wait, me or Ben?
Ben, do you have any more
What?
ideas?
See, that's a tough one because most ideas I would think of have probably already been done. So I would probably just say, I mean, for a series I'd like to see come back. Maybe I could go that route. There's 2 that I can think of. One is Legend of Dragoon, because they released one game on the PlayStation 1. It was a fantastic RPG, and they had a sequel planned at one point, but they scrapped it way before it was even officially announced. So I'd like to see them come back with a sequel to that, or if not a sequel, at least a new game set in the universe. And also the Tenchu series. I'm not sure if any of you played that, but those are really good ninja stealth games. They had up until the PS2 generation. The first one was on the first PlayStation, then the other ones were released subsequently on the PS2, and they have done nothing with the series since. I mean, they had one shitty game that came out on the 360 called Tenchu Z, but I wouldn't even consider that part of the series. So I'd like to see both of those come back. I'm not sure if you're familiar with either of them, but I do. If you're into old school kind of PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 era games, I do recommend checking out both of them.
Cole, would you buy this game if it came back?
Nope. I honestly don't think I would.
You wouldn't want to skulk around as a ninja and kill people?
I do that in real life, so
okay.
Yes, but it involves with my penis, so I don't, unfortunately.
Yes. Yeah. You can read the newspaper headlines. The victim choked on something very small.
Oh.
Oh, those are fighting words, Benjamin.
They are indeed.
Okay, and I wouldn't buy the game either, just because I don't have no interesting joke for that one.
Well, have you played any of those games, or it's totally foreign?
It is totally foreign. That's pretty much why.
Okay, fair. A lot of people haven't, and I think, but those who have, I'm sure would agree that they're IPs that do need to be revisited at some point. But that's everything I have.
All right, Cole, you got any interesting ideas for us today?
Yes, there's one idea for a game that I've had for a while, and I'm
Okay, let's hear it.
not sure if anyone's actually done this, but
Uh-oh.
imagine an iPhone game. It's kind of like a just all right. I'll use
Okay.
Pokemon as an example. Imagine Pokemon on the iPhone, but it uses Google Maps or Apple Maps or whatever map system it uses now, where it'll show you the locations of Pokemon on your like little GPS thing. You walk
Mhm.
over to them in real life, and if you walk over to them, then it'll almost like create like a Pokemon battle kind of thing on your phone in real life. That
Wow,
yes, immersion.
that's pretty awesome.
Using your GPS to find Pokemon, that would be cool.
Hmm
Hmm.
So Ben, would you buy this?
Well, I've never played a Pokemon game, so I can't say that I have any fanfare for it, but I like the idea of integrating, a video game into
Mhm.
real life kind of treasure hunting. So yeah, I think I would definitely give that a try. My only fear would be, me going out in public with my smartphone, kind of waving it around in the air, trying to find a Pokemon, and then engaging in a battle. I might look a little bit weird doing that, but say for that, I think yeah, definitely that could be
Yes.
it could be a good idea. Yeah, I think I'd give it a try for sure.
Just
That
imagine it. There's a rare Pokemon in the middle of the highway. What are you gonna do?
I could just imagine like you're scanning the area, and then there's like a rare Pokemon. You come up on like some girl's breast or something. It's like, bing, bing, bing.
Some
It's like
maybe
two Pokeballs right there. Oh, sorry, ma'am or sir, I should say.
maybe you could incorporate some sort of like free roam connect thing where you'd have to actually be the Pokemon and fight as yourself. So you're just standing there punching the air and kicking.
No,
That would be
no.
interesting.
Could
Yeah.
you see like a rare Pokemon populating in the middle of someone's house? Like you get arrested for a burglary, and it's like I wasn't gonna steal anything. There was a rare Pokemon in here.
Yeah.
But interesting idea. I think that could work.
hmm Or
So
lead to crimes, like we were talking about. But Zach, would you buy it?
yeah, I'd buy it.
Yes.
I'd treasure it dearly.
Well, that's good.
So mine, we'll see if you guys have any interest in mine. I have a lot of ideas, but whether or not they're actually good, that's yet to be known. But they're really like radical ideas, you might say.
Lay 'em on.
So I could see like maybe this wouldn't be very soon, but in the far future, a game where you could be able to scan in any location, similar to Cole's, where it connects to real life locations. But like from your own hometown to somewhere like New York City, you could connect to the game, and then you could be able to play in the environment. And I think this could work for anything from like an adventure game where you can like explore the town in the game, or an RPG where there are actually like quests spread around the city, and maybe if it's a more popular city, stuff that's related to what they're known for. And then, or even a first-person shooter where you're mowing down enemies in some location you know of. Or lastly, it could even be an MMORPG where you connect with other players in what looks like a real city.
No, it'd be kind of like virtual reality where you're not physically there, but you're
Yeah,
mentally kind of tapped into it.
yeah.
Hmm.
So would either you buy this game?
I would not.
All right.
Actually, I would. I was just saying that to upset you.
Okay, cool.
If they integrate it well, I mean, I can't see how like virtual reality. The time has kind of come and gone for that. I mean, we play a lot of sandbox games that are set in major cities, like New York is a popular one.
Mhm.
So I don't think it's that far off. I think being able to connect in virtually and kind of like like an avatar where your mind just goes blank and you wind up there, it feels like you're there physically. I I can't see how that technology would work, but yeah, if it worked well. Yeah, I'd get it.
Mhm.
Because who wouldn't want to do that? I mean,
Uh-huh.
even just for the sake of being able to visit a place you've never been. I mean, that's a great
Yeah.
thing altogether. I mean, I purposely set my course for Cancun and just lie on a beach, but that's just me.
As as bandits raid the village.
I'd be there. I'd have to protect the beach bar just from booze stealing bandits. Or, hey, I'd tap in there and be like, I want to go to Chicago to have some of their famous deep dish pizza. So I would just go there. But no, I think it's an interesting idea, and I know that's kind of the stuff of science fiction legend, like just being able to mentally teleport somewhere. I think it's a good idea, and should that technology ever exist safely, I might add, because we've all seen Total Recall, the original, where the guy gets like lobotomized. So as long as those complications are not a factor, yeah, I would definitely give it a go for sure.
All right, now this next one, I've presented this and I've wanted this idea to come to light for a long time, but it seems like no one agrees with me. So I want to see what you guys think. So it's a president fighting game where you have all 44 U.S. presidents as options in a classic fighting style game like Street Fighter style, but their special moves can relate to what they did in office. Like, for example, James Garfield, he was only in office for like 6 months, so he could have some sort of attack that's like a self-destruct attack because he didn't do that much. Or Lincoln could have a gun which he was assassinated with.
Or Obama could use a screwdriver because he screws us.
Oh, F you. And if they
George Bush would blind you with oil that he stole, and
or fried chicken because he hates black people. Apparently,
he doesn't. Oh, he doesn't hate them. He just doesn't care about them. So,
okay, true.
So he'd kill you with apathy. President Harrison can die after the third round because he died within 30 days. What is it? Washington or whoever it is can be like 407 ass whoopings ago.
yeah, and I was saying
that'd be interesting.
For like Washington, obviously you have like a bayonet, and Lincoln, if they wanted to take it a step further to fiction, maybe in some media, they could make it so Lincoln could transform by shooting himself, and then he could become the vampire hunter, maybe.
There you go.
There's actually a game like that though on the iPad, I want to say.
Well, that's
Mitt Romney versus Obama and Punch-Out type gameplay. Not exactly the same thing, but it's going that route.
It expands into history. I mean, if you play as George Washington, you can like throw slaves at your opponent. So, actually, I would buy that. That is a good idea.
And then that wouldn't affect Lincoln though, because you'd just take them all away. There you go.
There we go. You'd free him.
Emancipation Proclamation.
Exactly. He holds up the Emancipation, and then he uses it like as a shield to deflect them and set them free.
Yeah, the counterattack. Yeah.
Exactly. I know, that's an interesting idea. Like, Richard Nixon, he could have his one-liners like, I am not an ass kicker. Oh, I am.
So I heard that Lincoln had a very feminine voice, though. I'm not sure if that's true.
I wouldn't know.
I heard that.
Were you there?
No, that's the problem. There's accounts of that.
Well, they have a new movie coming out with Daniel Day-Lewis playing him, and his voice doesn't sound deep in the movie, so I don't know. It could be. I mean, he looks like the kind that would have like a gruff voice, like.
Yeah,
he does.
But I heard that. OMG facts. Oh, I'm interrupting. I'm sorry, Ben.
Oh no, sorry, I was interrupting. I was being a douche.
Yes, you were.
Hey, I admit it. At least I admit it, you pansy.
So, Cole, would you buy that game?
It depends. Is it going to be Cartoon Network Punch-Out quality, or is it going to be Street Fighter 4 quality?
I was thinking more of not really either, but not like the Street Fighter where there's like super long combos kind of thing, but like
maybe it depends. If it has achievements, I'll buy it.
Oh well.
Yes.
Done.
Now, if it was Mortal Kombat style, where you could like rip out the opponent's spine, what about that?
Oh yeah.
Yes. We're probably not allowed to do that because the government will probably say that opposes our national security. So I'm thinking not. But
it's okay. The presidents are long dead. I don't think that's a problem.
Yes.
Not all of them, but.
Well, the ones who are dead, we can do the fatalities on. The ones who are living, we'll let them live.
Basically.
And then the day they die, they allow fatalities on.
Yeah, a patch gets downloaded.
Yeah, it's like the day that one of the presidents dies, they're like, oh, a new update to President's Royale or whatever.
I mean Carter. He's like what, 94, some crazy number like that.
Is he?
He's really old, I know. So.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. And then these ones aren't really full things. You don't have to do anything about. I just think a lot of fighting games have some potential for different things, like maybe some sort of classic cartoons crossover fighting game, and then some sort of fighting game with Disney characters. Who knows? And then this one might not work so well, but it's virtual reality or sort of MMORPG Pokemon game where real people can take over as gym leaders and the Elite Four, and they could you could battle, meet up with random trainers along the way, which are actually real people, and you can explore with them.
That's kind of World of Warcraft now, though, because with the latest expansion, it kind of adds like the whole Pokemon pet battle kind of thing.
Mhm.
So that, I wouldn't buy it. Just so you know.
Okay,
I don't know. I'm not my thing.
no prob.
No prob.
And I'm assuming Ben wouldn't, because
Yeah, it doesn't sound like my cup of tea, but hey, you never know.
yeah, the other ones aren't really anything special, so I won't really mention them. But I also think a mature rated Pokemon game would be interesting too. Because if you think about what they're really doing, like you're electrocuting animals and stuff, and burning them, that would be interesting to see them just lying there burning to death or just bleeding all over the place, and just dead Pokemon bodies all along the ground.
Can you imagine how rich the therapists are going to get by this generation of kids who has to play that? See Pikachu all like mangled and bloody, like he's run over by a tractor or something. Yeah, there we go.
All right, so is that all for this main topic?
I think so.
I think so too.
Okay.
I'm
Well, now
gonna.
that we all agree, I guess we can move on to our finale, if you will.
We're not on the finale yet.
Or not? Did I miss something?
No, well,
What's going on?
I'm trying to do something.
What does that mean?
It means just that he's trying to do something.
Okay.
Okay.
That's all right.
Why isn't okay? Oh God.
What's going on?
I have no idea right now. Zach, what are you doing?
Hi. Thanks for calling Target Guest Relations. To continue in English, press 1. Para continuar en español, oprima el ocho.
And you listen to
¿Tienes
one of
una
these before?
pregunta sobre Target.com o sobre compras hechas en Target.com? Oprime el 1.
No,
Si
don't do
estás
the
llamando
Spanish.
acerca de una devolución a
Why are
una
you doing
tienda,
Spanish?
oprime el 2. Para información sobre productos
What we
del
get?
estás llamando para solicitar la información de un fabricante porque necesitas reparaciones o
Here,
repuestos,
let me practice my
oprime el
accent.
1.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Gracias por esperar. En un momento te atenderá un representante
We
y
did
te
this before.
ofrecerá
They
el
gave us an
servicio de
English
un
person
intérprete si tú lo
speaking person.
necesitas. Hi, thanks for calling Target Guest Relations. Right now we're closed, but you can reach us Monday through Friday
What?
from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Central
That's
Standard
perfect.
Time. In the meantime,
Well, there goes that idea.
F them. They're closed at 4 p.m. Are they
Well, they're only open Monday to Friday, so
Yeah,
F? Well,
that's never happened before. Wow, that's.
I wanted to
Have
do a
you?
different thing, but
Uh,
and it wasn't working. It
Ben,
won't bring
have
up
you
the
listened to
keypad.
the Batsa episode? Ben,
I haven't listened to that one yet. No.
all right, that was a decent one. I don't know, calling Target and what have you. They've never been closed for us though. Haven't we recorded on Saturdays though? Wasn't that Batsa one Saturday?
It was
'Cause-
not. It was Friday.
I see. But then we go past midnight. I don't know.
Hmm.
That's
Oh,
so
no.
weird.
Hold on.
Well,
I'm
that
trying.
idea was that was a failure.
It was.
All right.
Didn't you try to add a number earlier?
Maybe. I don't remember. Oh yeah, wait, I do. I couldn't add them in because I'm pretty sure you're hosting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I couldn't add them in. All right, Zach.
I'm
Now
trying
what?
something. It's a complicated number.
I'll just look at porn while I'm watching this. While I'm waiting for you
All
guys.
right.
Ah, good old
Just
promo.
don't forget to mute yourself. It's
Sorry, did you say something?
actually no, I didn't.
Okay. Okay, done.
Wow, you're a fast one.
It comes with
Wow.
age and experience.
I guess so.
Hello, and thank you for calling Stanley Steamer Carpet Cleaners. Our business hours are from 8:30 to 5 Monday through Friday, and 8:30 to 12.
What is going? What the fuck is going on?
I like
No one's
that.
open on Saturdays.
I'm telling you, you just Zach, so unprepared.
What? It was my fault.
Kinda. I don't know. Don't we have like a big list of numbers?
We should have one, but
I guess we don't.
that's where I got the Steamers one from. I just saw that. I was looking up good prank numbers, but
Huh.
The Steamers, are they based in Cleveland?
I was hoping like I wish we would be able to call normal numbers and prank random people, but you can only use 1-800 numbers without having to pay with credits.
Mm. Well, there goes that idea.
Yeah, that wow. This could have been something else, but
Could've been
Zach,
something special.
you had to have us record on Saturday.
Yeah, it was all me.
But Ben, have you listened to any of our prank calls yet?
I don't believe so yet. I'm only partway through through the 9th episode, so I haven't heard any yet.
It starts at episode. Wait, no, it started at episode 6 actually. Yeah,
No, that was only After Dark though.
it was yeah.
Okay, so I haven't heard any yet. No.
Yeah, I would suggest the one with bots. That's like
That's
Zach,
the
what
next one
episode is
after. That was episode 10.
Okay,
No, wait,
that's the one.
wrong.
Wait, no, it's
it was
Chrono Link,
episode
isn't
8.
it?
It was episode 8.
Oh.
The one before.
I miss Tony. I don't think we're ever gonna be able to talk to him again though, as Ben has no idea what we're talking about.
I'm sitting here nodding politely.
Okay.
All right, so you want to do Nintendo talk?
I think he got dropped.
He did not.
Oh.
He's clicking. Come on. I see him there. I'm staring at this call.
I'm not seeing or hearing anything.
Neither am I, but I see him on the freaking call though. I think he's just playing a little silent game for us. Oh.
I was interrupted.
Oh.
Yes. I got away. But
Okay.
yes, Nintendo talk.
Or do you just want to jerk around? That's your choice.
Can we do both at the same time?
It's difficult to multitask though.
Well, I mean, I can. True. All right.
I wish there would be I wish we could bring in Botson now, but he's never online.
Why?
So that we could discuss prank calls.
Annoy him? Yeah, but the discussion about them probably isn't as. I don't know. Sounds a little bit of a dull subject, don't you think?
So Ben, what
really.
have you been doing in the past hour?
Well, my right hand's been occupied, but other than that, not a whole lot.
Ah,
Mm-hmm.
haven't been
Here's the
recording
thing.
anything.
Supposedly that your man juice makes it so that wrinkles go away or something like that.
That doesn't work. That's a wives' tale. I've been doing it for 10 years. I'm still getting crow's feet.
I don't understand though, because here's the thing: my left and right hand look the exact same. So it's like,
well, you're still young. Wait till you're like maybe in your late 20s, early 30s. You'll start to see a difference.
Huh.
It's like bodybuilding. It doesn't happen overnight. It's something you progressively do over the course of years.
All right. Well, I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, see me in 10 years. You'll well, actually, not for that purpose, but you know what I mean.
It's all right. I'll be legal.
Oh, I'm starting to feel like I'm doing something illegal even talking about it on this podcast. Seeing as I'm the old one on here.
Just don't think about it. Just don't think about it. I'll leave it for my personal audio archive.
That's what your cellmate tells you, and it never works. Don't think about it. Just toss that salad. That's all you got to do. Anyway, did you want to move on to Nintendo talk, or what do you want to do?
I was hoping we would, but Zach,
go ahead.
Zach seems to want to talk about masturbation more than anything, which is a normal teenage curiosity. So I feel I don't want to stand in the way of the educating of young minds. But if you want to go through, what is this masturbating you speak of? So
I am 12, and who is Mr. Bates?
Here in Germany, we call it shaking der Wiener Schnitzel. So, yeah, totally. I have no idea where I'm going with that. Well, I do. That's the problem. So, why don't we do Nintendo talk? Get things back on track.
Yeah, we should probably do that.
All right. Well, Cole, lead us in.
Well, Nintendo talk. The problem is, I always want to do a more niche game. But the problem is that a lot of the ones for Nintendo are not niche.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think he's been summoned again.
He has been interrupted again. Yes. Who does he think he is?
Yeah, it's just a parent. It's probably just his parents talking to him. You know.
I always set aside this time and tell them I'm gonna be recording for a few hours. As to avoid this, but Cole doesn't like to make these preparations.
Not always the easy thing to do when you have shared space. I mean, at least with me, I have a room I can go to where I can close the door, no one's going to bug me, and I can just record. I mean, for the Rad Rascals, we have to do that every Sunday for 3 hours. Usually a little bit more because we have like the pre-show and the post-show preamble. So
that'll be good times, yeah.
So let's wait for Cole. Well, I don't know. Why don't we just go ahead then? Like what's your Nintendo talk?
You know what? I do not have one, but I will think of one right now.
Such a shocking lack of preparation on this podcast. I quit.
No, this is this is the only thing I'm like never prepared.
My Nintendo talk is Pokemon Snap. Did I do that before?
I could have sworn we've heard this before.
Oh, Snap.
I know I talked about it because I played it, but I don't think it was about. Oh, Snap! I saw what you did there. Good job. But,
Snap.
Yes. Well, okay. Well, no, Pokemon Snap, it's basically just taking pictures of Pokemon. You feel like Jerry Sandusky while playing it, but it's completely worth it. It's basically like, I don't know. It's on rails taking pictures of Pokemon Safari experience extravaganza. It sounds very boring, but it's like Harvest Moon where the concept sounds bad, but it's very addicting. And it's really not that long of a game. So if you just want like a quick game to beat in a matter of hours, that is your game. And that is my Nintendo talk.
Oh.
Whoa.
Ben, let's skip me for now. Do you have one?
Now, if I understand the rules of Nintendo talk, it's just you recommend a Nintendo game any era?
Yeah, any era that's exclusive to a Nintendo system. Doesn't have to be made by Nintendo necessarily, but...
Okay. Well, there's one classic one I remember having on the NES that I really liked, and that's called Solar Jetman. It's from the very early 90s. Actually, it might even be the late 80s, but it's basically this game where you control a spaceship and you have to deal with gravity. And it's like your typical kind of spaceship shooter, but it's got a layer of challenge to it because you have to kind of control your ship against the gravity and avoid hitting any walls, and you have to land safely. It's a really good game. So Solar Jetman is the one I would pick.
Well, for mine, I'm going to do something that's completely unrelated with Nintendo Talk for the. This is gonna be a first time thing, but we'll see if we can keep this going. If this works out, let's see. We'll see. Any second now.
I'm waiting to see it.
Hello. No. It was there.
Was he trying to flash us? I'm confused.
Thank God I didn't see that. I could go to prison.
Mhm.
Ugh. I
Only
would
if you
feel
share
so
it.
dirty right now if I were you, Ben.
Only if you share it with your friends.
Ah. Any moment now, I feel like a man in a suit's going to come into my room and say, why don't you have a seat over there? I just came here to talk and do a podcast.
It's all video games, I swear.
It's all not those kind of games. Don't be thinking.
We only play together. That's it.
Yes, the whipped cream and the jumper cables have nothing to do with what I was planning.
Oh God, Jumper. What are you gonna do? Put those on our nipples or? Oh man.
I admit to nothing. Well, the way you described it, you sound almost enthusiastic about it.
I'm intrigued. In all honesty, I don't know. It's interesting.
Well, there's two jumper cables, so I wasn't planning the nipples. So you can probably guess where I was going.
Oh, our
Make your ornaments light up like Christmas trees. There we go.
Oh man, how do you attach those though? There's no really. Well, maybe if it's winter and it's a bit nippy out, maybe you'll get a little bit more traction.
Nippy out? Ah.
Clear. What are you trying to do, Zach? You trying to call somebody in?
You know what? That is for me to know and for you to know also. Okay, but as for mine and Nintendo Talk, let's see. I'll do this incredibly inventive choice of mine that no one else could have possibly said ever, and that is Animal Crossing. There you go. I don't think you've heard of this. It's not a very well-known game.
It's kind of, with all the pauses, I was kind of expecting something more dramatic, but
Yeah, that was
I know.
down.
It was lame. I've got nothing. I can't think of anything.
It's fine.
You know
It's
what?
fine.
The last I wanted to do one, but then I was pretty sure I did it already, so I didn't want to do that.
Huh.
But
It's fine. Whatever floats your boat, as they say. So is that a podcast?
Animal Crossing is pretty good. There you go. We're
took a while to get there, but we got there.
Yes.
mhm.
And this podcast took about 2.5 hours. So Ben, this is quite the short podcast.
I know. I was about to say over already. What the fuck?
Mhm. We're not done yet. We're not done yet.
Well, by Rad Rascal standards, this is short.
Yes.
Mhm. We're not done yet here.
Uh-oh.
What happened? Well, now it's just going to be a bunch of awkward silence.
You know, let's just have a little chat here for a little while because I've got something that I'm waiting for, but it's just not happening.
Waiting for what?
Um,
Do you need some of the good pills or your wake up pills or what's it?
I think Zach. Zach, we need to give you some music here.
Oh yeah.
You sound like a giraffe getting molested.
That's what I'm going for. Great.
There we go.
No one ever understands that. That's what I hope to be a voice actor for someday.
Animal porn films.
Yes. It's very high in demand, actually. No one wants to do them.
Yeah, nay means nay. So
Hold on. I almost forgot something. Talk amongst yourselves.
Ben, I apologize for Zach's inappropriate behavior right now.
no problem. I
He
figured,
doesn't
you know
mean
what?
it.
I know he doesn't.
Oh, that's what you're waiting for. Quack, quack, quack.
To it, to woo!
Oppan Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style.
Hey, I played that last time. There you go.
So that's what we were waiting for.
It wasn't.
Yes, so.
It wasn't. That was just to hold you over.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Who edits these episodes?
Unfortunately, I do.
You have my pity, my friend.
'Cause I do everything else, so he has to do something.
What?
Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
offended. All right.
Did you take offense to that? A picket fence?
These puns, I keep telling you.
Do 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 do.
I know you're not quite at Gamester 81 caliber yet.
I don't know. It's all a matter of practicing.
Exactly.
Gotta know what to look for.
You gotta seize opportunities when they come.
Should be any moment now. I'm
So
waiting
I'd
for it
like
to
to
come to
thank
me.
you all for listening to this episode of Hey Listen.
No, you can't do that right now. We
I-
still have contacts to do. Hello? Nothing.
And you can find me on Twitter.
No.
Annoying Nav. And that's all right. That's the only place you can find me. Pete's Gaming Forum, Annoying Navi. Almost forgot about that one.
And you can find me on the street corner, offering my services at the street lamp.
Yes, thank you, Jerry. And Zach, where can they find you? Thank you. So-
You mentioned Jerry Sandusky so many times here. I'm starting to think there's something wrong.
Oh, it's a long story.
I think this is the problem here. I think you're actually a little bit hurt because you're the one person he wouldn't touch.
Well.
Wait, hello. Someone there.
So you cannot find
Hi.
Ben on
Hello?
Twitter. What?
Hello.
Hello?
What we've got here is going to be a call-in question. I just pulled him from whatever he was doing, and he's going to ask us a question. I didn't prepare him for this at all, and I wasn't prepared for this, clearly. So you got a question for us, Zavin.
I voted
What?
up in that.
The hell?
Zavin, he was a guest on episode 10. I don't know if you remember him, Cole.
Isn't he the Mexican kid from Chicago?
In your terms, yeah, he is. So Zavin, do you have a question that you so desperately wanted to ask? So you forced your way into this call.
Well, yeah, you've given me 5 minutes to completely make up a question, so it will be flawed, but here it goes. You go back in time with a insert console hero to try to bring the technology back so you can become a millionaire with the patents. But you bring the system back with 2 different games, but when you go back in time, the system transforms into an NES, and the 2 games transform into 8-bit NES games. What system did you bring, and what 2 games turn into NES games, and what is the gameplay like?
Oh my.
What?
And he just winged that question.
I'm so confused.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You go back in time, you take a console, you bring it back to the future to become a millionaire, but the console turns into an NES, and the 2 games turn into 8-bit NES games. What console did you bring back? Have I got that right?
Yes.
An NES?
What?
I'll take. Here's the thing. I'll take an NES Back to the Past. So when it comes to the future, wait, I'm so confused. It's like Terminator 2 all over again. I'm like everywhere. The games become Super Mario Bros. and Super Mario Bros. 2.
All right. The games become, say you brought back an Xbox and Assassin's Creed 3 or whatever, it becomes like, instead of like a 3D platformer, it's now Assassin's Creed 3 on the NES, but a 2D platformer.
Ninja Gaiden. I'm gonna bring back Skyward Sword, so it plays like a open world game where you collect Triforce pieces.
Well,
and then I'm gonna bring back New Super Mario Bros. So it plays like a platformer.
that would be pretty good answer there. Ben?
I would bring back Skyward Sword so it actually is playable.
Hey, you haven't played that game.
How do you know?
Because you stated it numerous times on Rad Rascals.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, I haven't played it, but I've heard by word of mouth that it's only motion control enabled. So I would actually bring it back so it becomes in the style of A Link to the Past.
Yuck.
How dare you diss A Link to the Past?
Yeah.
I will not have Link to the Past dissage on this podcast, which isn't even my podcast. So.
It's all right. It's all right. I like Link to the Past.
That's good. That's good. You're slightly redeemed, my friend. But yeah, that would be my answer. How's that?
Bring back maybe I'll bring back Call of Duty so it turns into a 2D light shooter or something.
Contra.
Yeah, that style.
All right. Zavin.
Zavin, thanks for joining us.
That was interesting.
Thanks, Zavin. That was a completely random question that I tried my best to answer.
I was given 5 minutes to write it, so.
Interesting question, that's for sure.
All right, we'll be seeing you.
I'm gonna bail before Cole starts yelling at me about not playing a Zelda game, and Ben for yelling at me for hating God Hand.
Oh, get the fuck off the call right now.
He is off.
And from Andy, I give you a kick right to the nads. Oh, he left, so I can't.
He did.
Yes, he's a Jimmy Rustler. He
hit and run.
He said he hates God Hand and Streets of Rage, and I think Andy's blood nearly came to a boil. We had to call paramedics.
That was a pretty good question for on the fly.
I didn't understand initially. I was like, what?
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, Zavin's gonna be listening back. Zavin, we're not angry. We're just frustrated,
slightly confused and concerned.
Yes.
So
that was an interesting question. Definitely led to interesting answers.
I need to get more people on my Skype. That way, like whenever we're recording this, I can just get a random one, a new one to do that, because it's usually like the same people that are online.
Okay, so contacts.
Maybe I can make a regular thing. Yeah, if you're out there and you haven't spoken up, or if you haven't been on the podcast yet and you'd be interested in doing that, obviously we can't let you know ahead of time, really. It's going to be spontaneous whether or not you're on there or not. But you might just happen to make an appearance on there, and you'll probably become a guest eventually anyway, so let us know.
Cool.
Send me your contact info.
Okay.
And as Cole would say, sleeping habits.
Yes.
All right, so is that a podcast there? What is our length at? 2 hours, 45 minutes?
Something like that. Yes.
That's pretty solid.
I would say so.
What was our longest episode, though? It wasn't even that long.
I think we hit the 3-hour mark once, I want to say.
Did we?
I think we did.
What was that? Was that the roundtable one?
It was probably, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I said, Pete's Gaming Forum, Knowing Navi, Twitter, Cole Knowing Nav. That's me, Ben.
You can find me on Twitter at browland or browland, however you want to pronounce it. That's BROWLAND with the number 1 at the end. Or you can find me on PetesGameRoomForum.com. I'm one of the moderators on there, so beware of the trolling. I will not hesitate to ban you. Also, you can find me on the Twitter for my podcast, which is at Rad Rascals, on Facebook at the Radical Rascals Podcast, and in Pete's Game Room Forum, we have our own section under podcasts and communities, where we have our own forum, we have our own discussion, and we post our episode information there. So definitely swing by, check it out.
Yeah, I think pretty much everyone. I don't think anyone calls your username at what in the way it was intended. Be Rowland.
It was well. The funny thing is, people ask me why I chose that, and for me, it was just that's the moniker I've been using online for about 12 years. It's just I was lazy and I had to think of something, so I tried B Rowland because Ben Rowland is my name, so first initial, last name, and of course that was taken, so I put the numeral 1 at the end, and that just kind of stuck. And people pronounce it Broland, Browland,
Yeah.
Browland, or whatever, depending on their accent. I mean, whatever people want to call me. People just call me Bro usually. It's become that, but yeah. Either way, I have a big presence on the forum and in the podcast community. So yeah, definitely check out our podcast. And guys, thanks again for having me on. I really appreciate it.
You can find me at Twitter at ZRPG, by the way, and you can find my newly reinvigorated blog Media Sloth at mediaslothz.wordpress.com. And you can also find me on Pete's Gamer Forum, Pokemon ZRPG. I'm fairly active there. I'm at like I recently got into the top 10 like maybe a month or two back. So I'm getting up there, I guess.
Yeah, you're definitely in the I think you're like number 9 or number 10 on the overall posters. So well done, sir.
I'm impressed by the people who haven't been active in so long and they're still up there. Like I think the one that I passed was Anzi's old account was actually up there.
Yeah, you're just above Nostalgia King, yeah. Because Nostalgia King has 1533. You're at 1642, and then you're just below SCD Pro, SDC Pro, and Pete Dorr. And of course, I took over Matt Petrus's number 1 position.
I'm still amazed that he's still up there because he's been so inactive.
Well, he was the most active person at one point, and yeah, then he kind of tapered off. I think he lost interest, I think, and he hasn't really gone back. But yeah, most of the people in the top 10 are actually moderators. So
yeah, so I guess those are fair. They're like fair rankings, I guess.
Well, it's funny because one of them is Keel246. He hasn't been active since March the 2nd, and he's still in the
exactly. I was like, come on now.
Yeah, well, that's how the forum life goes.
But yeah, Matt made a post saying he's coming back, and then he didn't come back after that post. So.
I think he's lost interest in gaming. Like he mentioned that one time, just he hasn't really had time for it. So I don't know. You come and go with the forums. That's just how it is.
Yeah, he goes on and off with games. See, we even had him on episode 5, and he hasn't. I don't think he's listened to any of it yet. Any of it since then.
Yeah, well, hey, that's the thing. The community is always there when you want to come back, so it's all good.
And yeah, where did I go off into that for? I'm also on YouTube as ZRPG Revamped. I generally just post the hey listen notification stuff now, but I still haven't posted episode 12's one though. I want to get back to making more videos sometime, but I don't know when. And you can find the podcast at Hey Listen Pod. I run all that stuff there. And I pretty much always retweet anything that people say about the podcast. And a lot of times I'll retweet Cole's pictures that about stuff we've mentioned. So yeah, you can contact us there pretty easily. You can also leave feedback and ask questions there, as well as on our thread on the forum. And I'm surprised at how many views we've gotten on that thread as of late.
Hey, you're getting up there, guys.
Nowhere near Rad Rascals though.
Nope.
Hey, we're nowhere near a lot of the others, so we're still up and coming.
Hey, Zavin posted in our thread 4 minutes ago. What is this about?
Let's see here.
I've been. He's talking about stuff that no one else will understand because he said cool guest for episode, whatever episode that was. I've been waiting for him to be on. Can wait for the episode to be out to hear more than 5 minutes of it.
Oh yeah, because he called in for like 5 minutes. So.
So no one's gonna understand that. They're gonna be like, "What?"
It'll become clear when you post the episode. So when is this going to be posted? Do you know?
Wednesday should be, unless Cole slacks off. So we'll see.
Let's not go down that road.
Well,
stealing my lines now. You'd only understand that if you saw the one episode, though, episode 12. Okay, so.
Well, yep. This episode's going to be called Jerry Sandusky something.
Oh God. Oh, God. And you better not. Okay, the fact that I'm the oldest one on the call leads me to believe I'm going to get the Sandusky references, which I don't want. So, play nice.
You need to get him in there somewhere, as always. You need to guess.
It's going to be like.
image.
Well, Sandusky certainly found a way.
It's going to be We Talk to
no.
Jerry or something. Tom poked Jerry or Jerry poked Tom. I don't know. Something. I'll think of it.
Yeah, be creative, eh?
Yes. But apparently I cannot come up with a good title. Apparently that's what Zach thinks, so.
No, you
we'll
cannot.
see.
Did you like that creative title he gave for episode 9? Did you see that?
3 kilobytes. What's wrong with that title?
I mean, come on. You didn't. That's also misleading because 3 kilobytes isn't just run by one person. It makes you feel like you had like everyone from 3 kilobytes on there. So then they get disappointed when they actually go there and see one person.
3 kilobytes is the per second rate the podcast runs at. But I'm.
Ooh.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Yep. So Ben, I want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
It was a pleasure.
It was an honor and a privilege. Thank you for having me on.
Yes. And Zach, any last words? Ben, last words? Okay.
Well, I always end off the Rad Rascals by saying one thing, and I figured it's appropriate since I'm a guest here. But bye, bitches.
Okay. Well, that's...
I didn't get quite the rah response I expected, but thank you.
Rah.
There we go.
I didn't know. I thought Zach was gonna say something, so I didn't want to say something, and he didn't say something,
I
and
don't know what to say.
it's all confusing.
Just the words have been taken out.
I've derailed another podcast.
My mouth
Basically.
is numb.
Oh yeah, it is.
How
Oh,
it's
that-
numb, I don't want to know.
Okay, now I understand. I'm gonna name the podcast "My Mouth Is Numb," and then I'm gonna put a picture of Jerry Sandusky. All right, I got this. Thank you, Zach.
You fucker. You fucker.
Ugh.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much again. Pleasure
Yep.
being on.
Mm-hmm.
And to
Thank
those
you.
listening, thank you.